and then we fill a minute because OBS, when you hit record, sometimes doesn't start.
Yep, that I can attest to that.
See?
It's like, you wanted to do something? That's cute. It's not gonna happen though.
It's not. So that's why I hit record, and then we fill like a minute and a half, just because that's the upper limit of how long it takes to start recording. Usually it's anywhere from like 15 to 20 seconds, but just in case, just fill a lot of empty time. Ring, 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 ring. The Brian Show.
See, now you're going to have that stuck in your head all night.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Jackass. Okay, so, how long are we going? 47 seconds. All right, we have to fill more time. Oh, Chase, just so you know, once the recording proper starts, I'm going to put you, once I introduce you, I'm going to put you on the spot.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a very complex question, and you've only got like 2 seconds to answer it.
If it's my favorite color, the answer is I don't know.
No.
Okay, then we're good.
Yeah.
As long as it's not that question.
Because my favorite color is purple, I guess? Because purple? But that's not a magic color, so it doesn't count.
It could be.
Don't you start.
I mean, I'm just saying.
What? Oh, no. I have to warn her beforehand so she worries about it, see?
Joke's on you, Cap. I'm always worried about something.
What? No, Cap's not here.
But just let me do my memes.
Oh. Like, there's actually a buddy of ours who's usually here whose name is Cap. Because his name is Steven Rogers, so we call him Cap.
Oh! See, no, I was just making an Avengers.
This worked on multiple levels.
There you
or it
go.
didn't work at all, but,
we meant for that to be a thing.
Totally, yeah.
She was more meta than she realized.
Exactly. That's how meta I am. I don't even know when I'm being meta.
You guys are weird. All right, here we go. Everybody pause a minute so I can find the beginning of the actual show. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 563, dear God, of the Mana Pool. That is not, as they say, a small number. They being me. That's not, as I say, a small... Shut up, Chewy! I'm Chewy, and I'm shutting up now. I got these other dorks here. Hi, dorks.
Hey, I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler and tangent master of the group, here to fill your ears with the mellifluous sound of my voice.
Oh, God,
don't
ever say that again.
And with me is another dork. Dork other than me and Chewy, who's here.
I am here.
Well, I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed
This
greenest
is where I
man
would
alive.
usually interrupt Mike, but he's not here, so...
And moral compass of the group. And the man who has interrupted this night.
Yeah, Mike is not currently with us, but he'll be here sometime soon, so we'll just have to, jump in. He'll just have to jump in when he gets here. We have a special guest again this week. I warned you last week that we had another guest. And it's another...
Yeah.
It's another of the hosts of no, that's the Twitter account of Best of Three. I was like, I've listened to BO3. No, that's not it. We have Chase here.
Where am I?
Here.
How'd I get here?
We kidnapped you.
I'm frightened.
Chloroform is your friend.
Why is it so dark?
As the official attorney on the show, I have to say that we didn't, in fact, kidnap anyone without their consent.
That's a lie.
Shh, hush you.
Where do I go? Help.
Oh my God. So, you might know Chase from Twitter. She's at Mana Curves. And if you don't pay attention to any of that, then you might recognize her from the, War of the Spark pre-release episode, right?
Hey, yeah.
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 That's the one where three of us went, and she played against Mike and Brian, and she was still around when we did the recap, so she joined in.
Oh yeah, I lost so bad. It was a tough time. I was not getting anything I needed to play any colors, and it was sad. It was a sad time, but a fun time just the same. It was just sad because I lost.
Story
That's
of my life.
limited for you. Them's the breaks.
It was the breaks. And I did, I was going to try and make a pun out of that, but my mind was like, break up. And I'm like, that makes no sense at all with anything that I was trying to go for. As you can tell, I'm good at this.
She really is.
Yes.
So, I warned Chase I was going to put her on the spot. Chase, what's the best format of Magic? Go!
Commander.
See? There we go.
Easy, easy. Could do that in my sleep.
You can play Commander in your sleep? That's amazing.
I do. That's why I'm so fantastically famous.
Yeah. That's the one. So, we've got Chase here to cover the other half of the Commander decks, because last week with Mike we did her mic, not our mic. Also not our mic at all, because he wasn't here because he sucks. But what did we do last week? The
First half Commander.
The Morph deck and the Flashback deck. There we go. So now we've got Jace here to cover the Populate deck and the Madness deck. I don't know why I can't remember those words, but I just can't. So, there we go. First up, by the way, Chase.
Yeah, huh? Where am I? I'm sorry. I'm going to drop this bit eventually. I'm just having a little bit of fun with it. I really can't help it.
Notice she didn't say, I'm going to drop it right now. She
No,
said,
it'll happen.
Eventually.
You know, one of these days. I actually don't remember now what I was going to say, so let's just dive into the damn cards. So,
let's do it.
We've got the Naya Populate deck called Primal Genesis, which, as somebody, I think Brian pointed out last week, it's not the name of a card, but it totally
sounds like it should be.
Yeah.
It's like the name of two different cards combined, so.
All right, so our first, the actual commander is, I can't say that word.
Is it a bad word?
Is it, no, is it Gyrid? Gyrid?
You guys are such scrubs. I got this.
All right.
It is. Okay,
so this is it
You're
is.
so bad at this game, just like us.
It is Gyrid. I'm gonna go Gyrid. Also, just putting this out there, it's pronounced Garrick, not Garuk. It's
Right.
Garrick.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Adjust your pronunciation. If you call it Garuk, I don't want to be your friend. I'm just gonna be very plain and if the command zone can be like Garrick,
I'm so glad.
it is Garrick. The command zone literally was like, it's Garrick. And I'm like, cool, because that's what it is. I was going to get concerned if they went Garuk. There's not even an O in there.
There's
If
not.
You're like, Garuk. You're like, oh, no. That's not it. No. Sorry, I just had a score to settle.
Wasting our times, so. No, I agree with you.
He does make an appearance in one of these decks, so I just got to it's Garrick, Primal Hunter, not Garuk, Primal Hunter. Putting that out there. Settling some
we were at like the Mirrodin pre-release, and it's one thing when these are like made up names, but you know, like somebody was saying Sharpnel Blast, and Mike is like, it's Shrapnel Blast. It's an actual, English word.
Oh no! Here I had the guy who taught me how to play Magic. He's my my ex-boyfriend. He would pronounce behemoth, behemoth. And I hated him so much for it. I was no.
I've heard behemoth, but I've never heard behemoth.
Yes.
I've never heard that before.
Also, I would go, it's automaton, and he would go, no, it's automaton. And I'm like, I hate every single second of this.
I think we see why this relationship didn't last.
Yeah, there were many reasons, but that for me was just what really killed it.
So, welcome to the Mana Pool Pronunciation Guide. What did we say? Gyrid?
Gyrid, yeah.
Gyrid.
So hey Chase, tell us about this guy.
What's he do?
What's he do? What's he cost?
What's his favorite color? What's the best format?
Well, I'm in a dark room with no light and no food or water, so I'm not really sure what you guys are talking about. Making me read magic cards.
Look, you knocked the water out of my hand when you were trying to escape. That's on you.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
That was gonna make its way in somewhere somehow.
It did.
So
Gyrid is a really cool card because he's Naya colored. He's 2 red, green, white for a legendary creature, human shaman. He's a 2/5. Whenever he enters the battlefield, you create a 4/4 green rhino creature token with trample. And whenever he attacks, you populate, and that token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking.
Nice.
That's such a neat take on populate.
It is. Red.
As a reminder, with populate, you make a copy of any token you control. So you probably have a 4/4, and that's great. But if you have like a 6/6 worm token, you might want to pick the 6/6. Just saying. So, or a stang token.
Oh Lord!
It's okay if you don't know what a stang token is.
I know what a stang token is, and I would like to forget what stang is, but you brought it up.
All right. Well, you're welcome. So,
Magnus
any token you got.
just subscribed for the 23rd month, and he said, "What conversation did I just walk into?"
That is a great question.
Correct. So okay, so yeah, Girad's really cool. He brings a rhino buddy, and then he makes something else pop out that is already swinging.
Yeah.
I really like this.
Yeah.
But he's really straightforward and kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you do with him? You play him with tokens.
Yeah, you protect him when he attacks. Got him.
I do like the fact that he's not a huge, because he's really interesting, and I like the fact that you have to put a little bit of effort, other than just like say he could have been a 6/6, and I'm like but here it's a little more like it's a little more interesting to try and figure out how do you make him work, how do you protect him, and not to mention both green and white have some of those cards that are the deal damage equal to a creature's toughness versus its power, so he benefits from stuff like that. So,
one thing that I was interested in is when they announced Populate, I was obviously expecting Selesnya colors because that's just what Populate is.
Right.
I did not expect Naya. Red Populate is something that really kind of took me aback. I really did not expect that because I actually expected red to be in the morph deck and for blue to be in the Populate deck. Because to me that just made more sense in terms of just like the flavor that surrounds colors.
Yeah.
Red Populate is interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Because there are some red cards that make tokens, but they tend to be a little more off than some of the others. You have some of the like Ruck Egg effects, like when this dies, get a token. A lot of goblins are like, hey, we like goblins, so get more goblin tokens. But you also get some of the really interesting stuff. I have not taken a look through the deck list. Is Kiki Jiki in the deck?
He is not. Is he?
There's a red card that makes tokens. So
I was like, he's not in here. If he was in here, I would have been like, we're pre-ordering that months ago.
Maybe that's something to consider. But hey, if you're looking to take this deck and amp the stakes a little bit, Kiki Jiki makes tokens of your best stuff. So
hey, wait a minute.
There you go. Yes.
No, never mind. I was gonna say Broodmate Dragon. No, that was Jund.
Actually, I've been working on. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but there's an alternate legendary in here that I'm actually already building a commander deck around. And Kiki Jiki is on the list for that particular deck. Actually,
is that alternate legend in this deck?
Yes, it is.
Well, are we pretty much done with Girard? I mean,
Yeah, there's really
make tokens.
There's really
he's
not
a guy
whole lot
who
to
makes
say
guys.
Yeah.
He's a guy that makes guys.
Well, most of our segues are not this smooth, so why don't you lead us right into the next one you actually want to make a deck for?
Yes, I love her. So it is Atla Polani, and she is known as the Nest Tender. And what's really cool about this card, she's also Naya colors, so already she's a perfectly like good alter for the deck if you want to switch out commanders. I actually feel like she's a bit smoother of a transition than some of the other legendaries in this deck. And what she does is you can tap 2 to tap her and create a 0/1 green egg creature token with Defender. And while that sounds like it'd be pretty bad, the really good thing about it is whenever an egg you control dies, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. And then you put that card onto the battlefield and then the rest of the cards on the bottom on your library any order. And so she's a 2/3 legendary human shaman for 4 mana, 1 colorless, and then Naya. And I am at first, and I'm actually going to be eating my words a little bit here, because on my podcast, Best of Three, Jose, Mike, and we did an episode talking about the first 2 decks, and I was just like relentlessly just ripping. I was ripping some stuff to shreds, and I also kind of ripped Girid a little bit to shreds. And I do have to say that I take it back, because even though Girid does not interest me, Atla is just, I mean, bananas, because it's a 0/1 egg that's so easy to kill. Whether you kill it yourself or you block with something, and you can just immediately just like top deck something fantastic and just barf it out onto the battlefield. And that is just so good.
Yeah. As straightforward and easy as Girid is, Atla is very much a Johnny card. It's very much a, hey, what kind of weird, wacky things can you do with this? Because there's a couple things. First of all, like you said, you can make that token, and you can make that at instant speed. So you can be like, all right, can you really attack the Atla player on the ground once this isn't summoning sick and they have 2 mana anymore? Because you're just asking to eat an egg, which is not as fun as it sounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like
despise eggs, by the way.
And then, but also beyond that, like, first of all, within the context of this deck, you got some big creatures, so getting them for free is pretty cool. But then when you go outside of the constraints of this deck, there are weird ways to get eggs. Like, I don't know, shapeshifter, changelings, can be eggs. You can do weird things with, like choose a creature type kind of things. You can make all sorts of stuff into eggs that are not normally eggs. And I just find that kind of hilarious. I love non-linear approaches to decks. And this just screams at me, not to mention I love polymorph type effects, sack a creature and then you get a random other creature, because I like random stuff. So this to me screams potential. I love it.
There's actually something I've been fiddling with in my deck list with Atla, is you get Atla Palani out, you equip Thornbite Staff, and you have an Ashnod's Altar out. And then and then you just boom, you're going. You are rolling with it just very easily. And I think that is just like a really cool way of doing it. You tap her, you make an egg, it dies, you untap her, you get mana for it, and just boom, just put stuff out. And like that is just disgusting to me.
Explosive eggs, but it won't be eggs like the old modern deck that nobody liked. This will be like fun
exploding eggs, dinosaurs hatching out of eggs, which is very on flavor point.
It is.
Yeah, I approve. So hey Garth, what do you think of this? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Well, I had to step away for a minute to take care of Penny, but so the eggs are token creatures.
Yes.
Meaning that they can be populated.
Yes, they can.
That is just disgusting.
Exactly.
Disgustingly beautiful. So I looked it up. There are currently, 6 if you count silver bordered, but there are 5 other eggs in the game. We've got Dragon Egg, Rook Egg, Rock Egg, Ludovic's Test Subject. Wait.
Yeah, that's so Ludovic's Test. Yes, it is. It's a flip card, and on the card it's an egg, and when you flip it and transform it, it does become like a big 13 baby boy.
But it's not an egg creature type, so it doesn't count. It's also blue.
I thought it was an egg creature type on the other side.
No, it's a lizard on one side and a lizard. Oh, it's a lizard egg. When did that? That must be errata.
I knew it. I was like, I know it's an egg.
I'm looking at the card and it says creature lizard. I think this is a misprint. I don't. Hang on. Let's go to Gatherer, since Scryfall has all of these extra thingies.
But while you're looking for that,
is Summoner's Egg an egg? Because
Summoner's Egg is the other one, yeah.
And that's a double whammy of like, all right, I get something from the top of my deck. Also, I get the card I imprinted.
It was eroded to a lizard egg at some point.
That is hilarious.
Point chase.
But it's not on any of the cards. When did that happen?
I'm not sure.
Weird.
But I will say, while this is happening, I have actually been looking a lot for eggs. I actually did purchase every egg I could. There's a lot of eggs that are like mana eggs. You also have like Summoner's Egg, but I did pick up a couple cards that I think would be good in Atla for specific eggs. So you have like Rock Egg, Rock Egg. I also picked up, I think it's called Chicken Egg. It is that silver bordered card, and if my playgroup is okay with me playing it, I have it sleeved up and ready. Also, a really good card for that deck if you are interested in making that deck. Nesting Dragon has a landfall. You get egg tokens, and you can just blow them up at your leisure. And I think that is absolutely fantastic.
That's right, it does. Nesting Dragon, yeah.
Yes.
About that?
You guys have no idea like how much like
she is fully invested in this.
I am.
We could spend the whole episode on Atla.
If you could go with a 4-color commander. And black be it, that means that anything like the demon, the demon that you have to sacrifice something.
Lord of the Pit.
Lord of the Pit.
I was gonna say, there's lots of demons
anything
that do
of that sort. I'm like, you sacrifice eggs.
Yep.
You could have this giant creature that's just like, all I want are omelets.
You like I have put like I already have like half a deck list like set aside. Like you got some good token doublers, you got Anointed Procession, you got Parallel Lives going on, you have really good sack outlets like Goblin Bombardment, Astronaut's Altar, Phyrexian Altar, for Altar of Dementia. Like I am like on top of it right now with this deck list. I'm trying to make it like kind of dinosaur tribal, but also like big boys. So I have like Impervious Great Worm. I have that other worm that I can't really remember right now, and the worm's probably mad at me for not remembering it, but it's also a worm. It's like a 16/16 and like a 13/13.
Autocathon worm.
The Autocathon is like a 9/14 or something weird.
It's like a weird worm. I can't remember the artist.
Spine worm.
Yes, that's it.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I also have like Zakama in there. I have Gishath in there. I got a Tali in there. Like there's some really good things that you can do with Atla. I know I've kind of taken us off the topic of Atla, but for her herself, I think she is with all of the main commanders that have been spoiled for this go round of commander. I do have to say that I find the main commanders to be very lackluster. I actually prefer the alternates you have. Like for like the morph deck, you have like Volrath, and you have Ryami, and like for a Madness, we have some cards that we're going to talk about soon.
Mm-hmm.
You missed my finger guns. But you have like Chainer and like all these like really cool like alternate commanders. Like you have Gerard for like
it feels like the quote unquote main commanders are basically there for. All right, I don't want to use derogatory terms because people hear like new players, casual players, things like that, and they have a certain connotation. And I'm a casual player, but I mean I think that they are there to kind of get someone to go. This is the basic premise of the deck. Just kind of no frills. Hey, if you get how this works, this commander will work.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they're picked. But I agree with that. Again, being like what my first Magic deck ever was a pre-constructed deck that I tinkered with and added a third color to, and it was a horrible mess. And yet, for some reason, it won a lot. So I'm a big fan of like taking something that's established and mixing it up and making it your own.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these alternate commanders, quote unquote, really appeal to me more than the main.
Exactly.
But we do have a lot more to go through.
Yes, we do. I am a very talkative individual.
Welcome to the club.
While you guys were doing all that, Magnus Veer pointed out that the egg thing happened with the core set 2019 Oracle changes. So this is a month old that this has been a thing, which is why I didn't know about it.
There you go.
Apparently all the eggs were just turned into eggs
and something else
like a month and a half ago. So
gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's confusing. I'm into it though. Y'all have no idea how into it I am.
It's pretty freaking. I think we have an idea. Yeah.
over the last little bit. So there is another 3-color commander in this set. Hey, Dirk, you want to tell us about Marisi?
Yeah, Marisi, Breaker of the Coil. For 1 red, green, white, he is a 5/4 cat warrior. It's legendary. Your opponent can't cast spells during combat. So combat tricks, not going to happen.
Not for them.
Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, goad each creature that player controls. Goad them.
Goat each player.
Goat each player.
Okay, I have to say, I'm not a furry. I feel like I have to preface that before I say this. But that art makes me feel feelings. I love it. I look at it and I'm like, oh, I like him.
Is this something you want to go to like a GP and win like the poster size version of this art and just kind of hang it up on the wall?
If somebody wants to make me a body pillow, all I'm saying is how much and how soon can you give it to me? It got very quiet after I said that.
I have no response.
I'm sorry, I was staring at Marisi. I haven't heard any of these statements. What?
Yeah, see, he's got some nice art. Look at him. I mean, like, wow, like that art, beautiful, fantastic, phenomenal.
It's really good art.
Show-stopping. Also, goad is really interesting. Like I said, I have to agree, because it was just that art is just, I have feelings. But the ability itself, I think, is way better than Girid, because Girid, he attacks, he makes 1, he populates. That's cool. But this guy, there's no instance happening on your combat phase, so that kind of gives you like a nice level of protection during combat. If you can make it to your combat phase, I have a feeling, rest assured, you're not going to be worried for a time.
Yeah.
I also feel that goading is really good because that has an added level of politics in Commander that I feel like we're seeing a lot more in this set, like cards that are specifically like politics based. And I think that is something really cool to see, because, you can look at your opponent and, they may be a little bit like weaker than you, and you're like, but they might, or they could even be stronger than you. You're like, listen, I'm pretty strong. You're pretty strong. I don't want you to hit me. If I don't hit you this turn, I'm not going to goad you, but you shouldn't, if you don't hit me next turn, I'm not going to goad you. And you're like, you know what? Fine. I'm not going to goad you. Like stuff like that, I think is really interesting to see, especially with, this, lovely cat individual.
Yeah, and I agree. And like I said, I have trended a little more lately toward more aggressive decks. Not in all of them, but maybe just in general. And goad is a really interesting mechanic because it helps keep the game moving along. There's attacking going on, but you're protected because they're not attacking you. Mm-hmm. So you're like, I punch Dirk in the face, and it makes Dirk angry, and I'm like, are you angry? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, great. Go hit Chewy, and he's like, yeah, I think I will. So,
I'm sorry, what? I was still just staring at Marisi. Did I miss anything?
You. God, those rippling pecs.
Dirk attacked you while you were staring at Marisi because I punched him in the face.
Did someone roll my life dice down?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I was looking through and seeing, and I know that it doesn't have a lot of sorceries and stuff, 10 instances, is because he says, a creature you control deals combat damage to a player. If there was anybody who had a ping effect that says, this
combat
damage. Because if you had a pinger, you really could. Like I think Gutter Snipe has that, doesn't it? Whenever you cast it, it deals combat damage to a player.
What? No, Dirt. That's just damage. Combat damage is damage from combat.
Yeah, you can do that with like Death Touch. Like if your guy has Death Touch and you can ping something, then that would count as like a Death Touch ping. But like combat damage is a bit different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been a couple pingers who said deals combat damage.
There are 0 of those.
No, that combat damage is damage from.
Yeah, from a creature dealing damage to a player during combat.
Guys, let's not argue. Let's just all stare at Marisi. Just stare at Marisi. Your troubles will fade away. And you're like, oh, wow.
Well, you guys are so last week. I am staring at a big, bulky Minotaur. He's Tangar, and he can be my first mate anytime.
Oh, my.
for 2 and a red and a green. He is a 5/5. Everybody else is understated. He's overstated. He is a legendary Minotaur warrior, and he can't be blocked by more than one creature. So come at him, bro.
You
He's
will meet
helpful.
Tongarth in single combat.
Yes. Whenever an opponent attacks with one or more creatures, if Tahngarth is tapped, you may have that opponent gain control of Tahngarth until end of combat. If you do, choose a player or planeswalker that opponent is attacking. Tahngarth is attacking that player or planeswalker. You can borrow my Minotaur, but it's got to hit this guy. I like that it's a May effect. It's not like he's got to swing right back around. Tahngarth, if you know your story, was
Wait, hang on. This is, we got to parse this out in a way that makes sense, because listening to you read it, it didn't work for me. Okay, so
all right, you go right ahead.
So if an opponent attacks somebody with a thing, right, and your Tahngarth is tapped, you can give Tahngarth to that player. If you do, choose a player or play. Okay, you can give Tahngarth to that player and add him to their army.
Yes.
And say, okay, Tahngarth is now attacking Steve, because Steve sucks. No one likes Steve.
But that player that you give him to, obviously, I don't think you can give it to Steve, like, because a creature cannot attack its controller, correct?
What? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, so this card I feel is flawed for a number of reasons. Number one, the ability is very confusing. I mean, it just, like, even like reading it like verbatim from the card, I have to take like a second to kind of step back. And I feel like it's one of the legendaries that I was just kind of, I mean, when you look at the sort of like the flavor legendaries that we're seeing, like Bolrath and Gerard and stuff, you know, they have sort of like an oomph to them. And this one just seems very weird, especially for Gruul. Kind of a whole like take control thing. You know, I expect that more to be like a Jeskai kind of color thing, you know?
Well, this guy's so angry he's got to attack everybody. Doesn't even have to be his controller's turn. He's still going to get in there. I think is what they're going for.
Yeah, but
I agree. It's to make this work, they had to phrase the ability in a way that, like, Chewie had to read it twice. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, when you look at this, too, I mean, I'm certainly not a finance person by any means. But when you look at the price of each of the commanders, so, for instance, I believe the last time I checked, Atla was going for, like, around like $19 to $20, and is it Marasi is how you say his name?
Marisi.
I do love Marisi, beautiful cat man. He was going for $17, whereas this guy is going for around $2. His ability is just very hard to work around if you're building a commander deck around him. I mean, but putting him in the 99, he just seems to be just sort of a very confusing 99 card. So I feel like this one is trying to be a lot, and I feel like for me looking at it, it's kind of a miss. And I usually don't feel about that way about the alternates. Like, for instance, like Gerard was a really good alternate because he's a flavor card. He's Boros, but he does an ability that is uncharacteristic of Boros, but is, you know, easy to kind of build around and to work around. Yeah. Whereas this one is like, you know, he's hitting, and he's hitting a lot, and that's like rule is like, I'm gonna hit you, and I'm gonna hit you hard, but the whole like take control thing is just, it's a lot.
Well, it's one of those things where it's a lot on the card, but once you play with it, like what it actually does is really, but in order to make it work within the rules, it's this giant wall of text that sounds like gobbledygook freaking gook.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely going to be a lot of like rules things written on the Gatherer about it.
Probably. I think he's not my favorite, but I think he's grown on me a little bit because, like I said, the situation with him is, so Chewie has something that, like a planeswalker, like a Nicol Bolas, that I just can't take care of. So I attack with Tahngarth and I try to smack Nicol Bolas, and then it's Dirk's turn. And I'm like, hey, Dirk, if you attack Chewie, wait, you gotta okay. See, Dirk, if you attack Nicol Bolas, because it's got to be something you are already attacking, I will also give you Tangarth to help you attack Nicol Bolas. So there's a little bit of politicking involved. And once again, because you're never if Chewie's like, oh yeah, well I'm gonna attack Brian, give me your Tangarth, I'm gonna be like, no, you don't get to have it because it's a May ability. But I have a feeling this card is going to be misplayed. And I don't mean like subjectively like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea for you to do that. I mean like literally, I think this card is difficult enough to understand that it's going to be misplayed a lot, at least for a while, because this card says a lot of things. And yeah. I don't know that he's a complete miss for me, but I also think that I honestly, I would prefer him more in the 99 because I think as a commander, he's just so, I don't know, I'm more of a Johnny player. What do you do with this guy? You attack. And then you attack some more. But
now,
and after that,
Chat did point out that if he's your commander, he does rack up commander damage pretty damn quick.
That is a fact. That's fact. And the fact that he can't be gang blocked is pretty important. Any other multicolored commanders in this deck? Or have we hit them all?
I think we hit them all because each deck comes with like two alternates. Well, okay, there is one technically. There's Trostani, but we're all very familiar with what Trostani does. She's a reprint in there. Yeah. She populates, assigns damage with toughness, and so pretty much what you can do. I really wouldn't run her as a lead commander because you cut like half your colors out. But having her be in like an Atla deck, for example, you populate and you just get a lot of eggs, and that helps you with your egg. And sometimes, a lot of times, a lot of green creatures have like really heavy toughness, and so you can kind of flip that around with her.
Yep. So I don't know that we have to spend a whole lot of time, like you said, on the reprints.
Yeah,
but
so
that is definitely
Let's hit the rest of these new cards.
New cards.
So like we've got Commander's Insignia for 2 white. It's an enchantment. It says creatures you control get +1/+1 for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game.
Lord.
That's really cool for
I find it interesting
games.
that this doesn't use anything to track. It doesn't like get counters whenever you cast your commander again or anything. You just gotta keep up with it.
Well, I mean, you've got to keep up with it anyway, so it's just using that information that you're already tracking.
True. It's not like you can be like, okay, I forget how many times I've cast my commander. That's kind of not cool. So, okay.
Well, usually when we play our games, we've got some sort of dice so that we can keep up with how many times we've cast and all that. Well, and so it should, depending on how you personally keep track of it,
But as Chewie just pointed out, because I didn't think about you, it's something that you have to keep track of anyway. So here's something else.
It'd be like something saying, "Hey, you get a counter for every time you draw a card, and lose a counter every time you lose a card." No, you already know how many cards are in your hand.
Do I though?
Okay, well, maybe you don't, but you know.
Okay. Most people.
All right, let's see.
What else we got?
Oh, we got Doomed Artisan.
Doomed Artisan is kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah, what's he do then?
For 2 and a white, he's a 1/1 human artificer. Yes. Oh, there's more text. Sculptures you control can't attack or block. This gets better all the time. At the beginning of your end step, create a colorless sculpture artifact creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of sculptures you control.
When I look at this card, I like the concept that they were going for here, but I do have to say that there's been like a little bit amount of buzz just with the depiction of the art as well as like the flavor text and kind of how, I mean, I know it's like away from cardability, but it's clearly a man with who has no arm, and he's continuously sculpting himself as being fully abled, and he's like, remember me not as I am but as I should have been. And I really feel that that's kind of not good the way that they kind of went about that in terms of like the flavor text, having him feel shameful about that. I mean, I know that we're, talking about abilities there, but I do have to say, as much as I think the ability is cool, like they kind of didn't think that one all the way through, I think.
I don't know, man. Like, since we have literally no backstory, it could be that, like, a dragon ate his arm and he really misses it.
Yeah, but but because there's no backstory, we can only be left to assume that, it's a feeling of like, I'm not good without this thing, So I feel like
he says, "Remember me not as I am, but as I should have been."
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I see where Chewie's coming from, but I think if it's something that he was missing, like that he lost at some point, it would say, "Remember me as I was."
Yeah.
The phrase "should have been" is interesting because it denotes something that has
It's
always
missing.
been lacking.
Yeah.
So
the ability itself, I think, is very interesting, but I feel like on flavor they just kind of like really like
bit of
had
a dropped ball there. So.
Yeah, they were like, this is a really cool idea, and they're like, oh, this could be taken very negatively, and I can see how it can be taken negatively. But I do like the concept of like sculptures you control can't attack or block. That kind of takes me back to like one of my favorite mechanics in Magic, which has to revolve around like cowards, like cowards can't block. Was it warriors? I think it kind of makes me remind me of that a little bit, and I think that's super cool.
I think he's pretty awesome if he can rattle off one of these sculptures in the space of one turn.
And populate. And just keep making
populate.
Sculptures. Yeah.
And then all you have to do is find a way to kill your 1/1. Gotta be some way.
Wait, why are we killing 1/1s?
Because as soon as he's gone, your sculptures can attack and block. That's why he's doomed.
Okay.
You have goblin. You can sacrifice them to goblin bombardment. You could
Well, I was being sarcastic. There's any number of ways you can sacrifice them. Sorry, you don't know me well. I was being sarcastic. I'm just saying you keep them around until you got a couple sculptures, and then you're like, okay, I want my sculptures to attack and block now. Sorry, man, you gotta go. So
that's the dream of an artist.
To be remembered after your life.
To have your art rise up and kill someone after you die.
There we go.
That's
Chewie
the
gets
dream
it.
of an artist. Yeah.
That is
the dream of an artist.
That is actually Chewie's dream every night as he falls asleep.
Also, hey Chase, you know how sarcasm doesn't come through in text form?
Yeah.
Brian speaks in text form.
I can tell. I was like, Brian, there's like a lot of ways you can do that. I'm like, I know like 7.
Yeah. See, these guys know me well enough that they can, I guess, interpret that. So,
but like flavor-wise, I love that he can bust out one of these statues in one turn. Like he's really good.
Yeah.
As an artist, as a sculptor, he's good.
Yeah.
I tried to make a soap sculpture one time in like grade school, and it did not come out very well. And that was a block of soap. So I'm not an artist.
We know, Brian.
You're an artist to me, Brian.
Oh, God, don't tell him that. He'll never stop.
What's our next card? Let's keep moving because...
All right, nice and simple. Song... Shut up, Brian. Song of the World Soul.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, it's Mike.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that was perfect timing. I wasn't even saying, oh, my God, to Mike. I was saying, oh, my God, to you saying, shut up. I was like, wow.
You have to, because otherwise he'll just keep talking.
I'll keep talking, too. That's why I'm here.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Who are you?
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lord. And
apparently he's having internet issues, so...
Well, yeah, my laptop just... It wasn't just me, like, switching it back on. It's also got to install updates, and it's got to install updates for Discord, and it's got to finish its startup routine, and I guess there's some programs open that I should turn off that I usually do, but I have not done that yet. Let's see here.
Oh, dude, Stark pointed out, this is Mike Classic. We're introducing him after new Mike last week. To make you think the old Mike was gone forever and celebrate his glorious return. with Mike
There's too
Classic.
many mics. There's too many mics.
Yeah, Mike, we missed you last week, but we had another beardy guy who knows the rules that is a Mike, so we didn't
Yeah, I
really
heard
miss you
about
at all.
that. Yeah. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to any of you about how that went. Hopefully well.
You actually
we
missed talking about sexy cat guys. You did.
Well,
He can still stare at him.
Yeah, I am right now. Actually, I'm looking at him.
Damn it, Chase, focus.
Sorry.
Oh, she
Sorry.
is focused. I don't think that's the problem. or maybe it is.
Listen, I just need to know where I can find an HD art so that I can make it my screensaver. No judgment. It's just what I need.
I'm sure it'll be up on the website at some point.
Oh, I hope so.
What's his name? Marisi what?
Marisi, Breaker of the Coil. I'm not going to say a single thing, but that just sounds very innuendous. And y'all got real quiet. I was like, oh. Y'all said I
I'm just
couldn't
trying not to
curse. You said I
sneeze,
couldn't
sorry.
make jokes.
No, I'm trying not to sneeze. Hold on.
I was trying to find his HD art, but apparently it's not up anywhere. Google hasn't. Google doesn't have it.
Oh, I've been searching for it. I'm like, where is it?
Okay,
so Mike, that's the old Mike. We are currently going through the cards in the Populate Commander deck.
oh, okay. Let me get that.
And we're going
So
through the new ones.
What card are we looking at now?
All right,
Or
so-
Mike
the
rudely
World
interrupted.
Yeah, by some beardy guy. So Song of the World Soul for 4 white is an enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell, populate. Y'all,
Oh man,
damn.
that's some kind of awful right there.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not coming up. Is it an enchantment?
It's
It
white,
is an
yeah.
enchantment.
White
Yeah.
enchantment.
What? It is not coming up on my Commander 19 list. This is just making me sad. 'Cause I had it right here in front of me and it lied to me.
Hmm.
I swear I'm prepared. Swear it.
I mean, I put
That's
the
okay.
links
We swear we're prepared too.
in the Discord chat, just in case you didn't
Yeah.
have them handy.
Yeah, that's what I had. I clicked that. It's not popping up for me. Why is that
It's-
not working for me?
It's on the second row of white.
Oh, well, there it is.
Yeah, the not reprints are listed alphabetically at the top of each color, and then all the reprints are listed alphabetically below that.
This is just hating me so incredibly much. Thank you. I'm
It-
prepared. I'm good at this.
It does
I
that
deserve
to us all the time. Or to me, anyway.
Yeah.
That-
So you should play this with tokens.
Yeah, and you should cast
Really?
spells.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I'm
Pretty
sorry.
sure.
I'm coming across as sassy. I don't mean to be. I'm a very sweet
It's
person.
okay. I'm very sarcastic, and you can't tell.
She's a
either,
very
so.
sweet person. She says incredibly sassily.
I am. Mhm. I think my opinion about this card is heavy for a heavy CMC, but casting a spell, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, this is the definition of like a do nothing enchantment when you play it. But just dang, if you untap with it, then and you have any amount of tokens,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really don't feel like I have a whole lot to say about this card because you get exactly what it does.
Yeah.
And you may not realize how much you're going to be going off with this, but it's going to be a lot.
Like, if
Yeah.
your only token is a 1/1, you're still happy.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, Sapperling doesn't really match up with Worm, but it's something. It's still nice.
Egg is what we're thinking
Oh,
about.
God,
Egg.
here she
Eggs.
goes.
Eggs.
Here she
Eggs
goes.
and sculptures. Eggs and maybe I'll make a sculpture of an egg.
Yeah. Make a sculpture of an egg. Kill the egg. You can actually do that with well, actually no, because Arcane Adaptation and Conspiracy are black and blue, so you can't run those. But you can actually do changeling interactions to have your changelings be eggs. Honestly, I could talk
And
about
your-
eggs all day.
Eggs and changelings or changelings.
Yeah. If you want to invest in a good way to kill all of your eggs, mirror entity, just pay 0. All of
Yeah.
your creatures become eggs and die.
Huh.
And there you are.
Mike,
Yeah.
I just want you to know that you being back has completely screwed up my other scene.
I was wondering about that as I was signing in.
Yeah, oh well. Once somebody leaves, I'll fix it.
I'll
'Cause-
leave. I'm
no,
just kidding. I
No,
wanna
no,
be
don't
here.
leave.
I want to be here. I apologize. I'm just being sassy tonight. It's a sassy
Apparently.
knight.
She's really very sweet, if you believe that. So,
I
Mike,
promise, I'm a lovely person.
Yes.
did you know that they made Ruck Egg and Rock Egg and Summoner's Egg and Chicken Egg and Ludovic's test subject the creature type egg?
I think I knew that on some level.
It
But
happened
the
a month and a
Ludovic's
half ago.
test subject, yeah.
What? I thought they were already eggs.
No.
That's what I thought.
I mean, I also thought that about like the Ruck Egg and all that.
Wait a minute. Now I'm going to look up the test subject.
It's
Because
gonna do exactly what we did a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
all right, well, I guess spoilers for the listeners who know how it's going to turn out, but don't spoil it for me, please.
Copy link. Here you go, Mike.
Okay.
Magnus
Hold on,
Fear
guys.
already
This
found that
really
for us.
annoying dude just sent me a link. That was a joke.
Wait,
no
I
one
was
got
like,
it.
wait a minute, I just sent you.
No.
You should totally ghost him or whatever kids are doing these days.
God, don't do that. I get that all the time. The most recent
Y'all.
core set was 2020, not 2019. Oh, right, the core sets are a year ahead. Sorry, it was a year and a month and a half ago.
Ah. Okay.
Okay, so I didn't know about that because I'm dumb. Thank you, Carso. I appreciate that.
Okay. For some reason, I just thought they were.
I mean, it was
Eggs
a year
already,
ago
I
now,
don't know
so
why I thought that.
anyway. All right, what's the next freaking card? We got to get moving here.
Yeah.
I have.
Geared's
I was gonna say-
Belligerence.
That's the card that I was going to talk about. That's the card I'm excited for.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about it while
What's
I
it do?
find it.
Geared's Belligerence is X and 2 red for a rare sorcery. It deals X amount of damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures, and whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies, this turn populate. And
Oh my
I-
god.
I like this card because it is, first of all, it's a red populate, and we talked at the beginning about how red and populate just seems very weird, but they kind of put this in there to kind of bridge the gap between red and
Mhm.
Selesnya. And I really like it because you can, it says to any number of target creatures. So what you can do is if you're saying, if you have like Atloud or if you have Atlas, your commander, you can target some of your eggs, not all of them, and some of your opponent's creatures as well, populate the rest of your eggs, and then get big creatures. So you can still kind of, make more outlets for you to get creatures as you go. I also think that if you're just trying to like wipe an opponent's board, it's just good to have because you can wipe your opponent's board, deal a lot of damage, and pretty much just like square up with the amount of creatures that you get on your battlefield with populate.
Yeah.
And I just think that is so cool.
Yeah, I think it's really neat.
Like, let's take this to down to the most basic level, right? You
Yes.
pay 1, you've got 2 eggs out. You pay
Mhm.
1, you ping 1 egg. That egg
Exactly.
dies, you populate your other egg. So you've just broken an egg without actually losing an egg.
I guess
Mhm.
you need to make sure you have at least an egg left, right?
As I said, yeah, you've
Yeah.
got 2 eggs, and you
Mhm.
ping 1 of
Yeah.
them. And when it's done, you've broken an egg, but you've still got 2 eggs. And that's like the very most basic thing, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is the least you could do with it. And like,
Get a 16/16 out of it.
yeah.
I like eggs. I have a whole. Check out my egg deck list. Just kidding.
See,
I don't
now
have one
I'm-
posted yet, but
Now I'm thinking of like Goldfinger, and he's like, I like gold, but it's like I like eggs.
I like eggs.
I still don't like eggs.
Is Hate Mirage in this deck? Because it's right next. I don't have
no.
the deck list. No? Wow.
Next
It
up is
feels
the
like it'd be.
Tectonic Hellion. Hey, Mike, read a card, for God's sake. Make yourself useful.
Let me go find a Tectonic Hellion. I assume that's
It's in-
red.
It is red.
It's
It is
red.
red.
It's
All
green.
right.
I'm just kidding.
It's red-green.
She's
Just trying to
helping.
throw you
It's
off.
brown.
Keep you on your game.
It's cardboard. I don't know what you guys are looking.
I eat cardboard every day. Excuse you, sir.
Dude, you eat
All right.
Pop-Tarts?
Don't mock Pop-Tarts.
Uh.
They were mainly my meals in college, and they sustained me.
I was to say, I still eat Pop-Tarts every damn morning because I'm broke. So I know what's
Hey
like
Mike,
to eat
what's
cardboard.
this card do?
Yeah,
All
Mike,
right.
what's this card do? Well, quit making fun of Pop-Tarts, Mike, you jerk.
So, Tectonic Hellion for 5 brown. It's a rare Hellion. It's an 8/5 with haste. And whenever Tectonic Hellion attacks, each player who controls the most lands sacrifices 2 lands.
This feels like they just wanted to make this card And I don't know that it really goes with this deck, but
Yeah.
now, again, Kiki Jiki this, and then, populate, and
Mhm.
dear Lord, the whole table will hate you because no one will have land by the end.
Honestly, this would be really good in like a Norn Chaos deck. Just like absolute hate.
Just
Mhm.
yeah.
Just like you're like, God, man, I'm ready to move on from this town. Not really sure what I can do. I have so many ties here, and you're like, I know what I'll do. I'll play Tectonic Helion. I think that'll be a good way to burn some bridges. That's how you do it.
That's
I'm-
true.
I have a
It
feeling deep
doesn't-
down
never look
someone
back.
will just be like, "Can someone just play Karn? Can we just start another game right here, real quick?"
Nah,
feel like
Yokel helps.
I feel like the whole line,
Uh.
Alfred's line from The Dark Knight, gets used so much. It's almost a meme now. It probably is a meme.
Yeah,
But
it is, yeah.
the whole, some people just want to watch the world burn. Well, this is a card they would play because the land still continues to burn.
I'm so sorry. For a second, I thought you were gonna say my dream is to be in Paris, and I'll be at a cafe.
Oh, that's The
And I'll
Dark Knight
see
Rises.
you, and you'll see me, and I won't talk to you, and you won't talk to me, and it will be good.
Bruce
I
Wayne,
thought that's where you're
Bruce Wayne
going.
gets to the cafe, and instead of Alfred, there's a Tectonic Hellion at the next table, and
He
he's like,
nods gently,
"Hey,
knowingly.
hey, Bruce."
He's like, "No, we're not on first turn. We're not on first name basis. It's Mr. Wayne." God.
Right.
Can I just say
I'm
I hate this
funny.
card?
What do you hate about it?
Well, it's the land thing.
Thing that it does.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the flavor text.
I bet Ken Nagel designed this.
You know what?
Ken
that
Nagel
would
is
not
a-
surprise me at all.
Ken Nagel is a vocal proponent of griefer cards, so that would not surprise me.
I
What's the flavor
know.
text say?
Helions measure their meals in mountains.
Nom nom nom.
I do have to say this. I know you guys, I know that I'm getting weird about art right now. I want to give him a hug. He looks like he needs it.
He
I'd give
does
him
look
a,
like he needs
He
it.
does not
does.
look like he is happy with his role in life.
Yeah. I just want to be
It's
like,
like-
hey, I'm here. I'm going to climb up on his little belly, give him a big old hug, and tell him I love him. I think he's that cute.
It's kind of like Galactus, right? I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it, but Galactus eats worlds not because he wants to, but because he has to, right? So
Mhm.
he's like, I don't know
He's
what
like,
to
man,
tell
I'm
you.
just doing my job. God.
If I don't eat a mountain every day, I die.
He's
Or an
like, "Listen,
island or a plains, but you get it,
I'm on a low mountain diet.
Mhm.
You need to understand that. I'm mountain intolerant, but I still love it. Man, every time I try and crack a joke, everybody gets so quiet, and I'm like, wow, I'm good at this.
Now, so what happens is we're silent for a second to let the joke sink in, and then
Sure.
Yeah.
you jump in immediately, going, "You
Sure.
guys didn't laugh." Now you got to let it settle for a second.
I need instant gratification. I do.
Oh my! All right, let's move on to a card I might not hate. Full Flowering is next.
Love that
Full
card.
flower.
Where there
All
it
right.
is.
It's a
Holy
green
crap!
card.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Chewy, what's it do, Mr. Crap?
All right, Mr. Crap. It's XX and a green. It's a sorcery, and it says populate X times.
Yeah,
Well.
you should play this with tokens.
That's a real bargain, actually.
Yeah.
It really is. I like this card. I think
Yeah.
it's really good. I also think the art kind of freaks me out because the guy's going, oh, like he's just kind of walking. I'm really going to be doing some art commentary here.
Yeah.
But I really like this card. I like to see cards that are not just white, like Selesnya, like just like plain old Selesnya cards that are populate. I like to see cards that are either mono green or red, like we talked about, or mono white that are populate. I like seeing that because it's trying to remove it from just one color combination,
Mhm.
and kind of change that a little bit. Because I noticed that they're really trying to like change our perceptions of the personalities that kind of go behind colors.
Mhm.
And I think that we're seeing that a little bit more with this commander set coming around. They're still, of course, within their characteristics, but I think they're trying to like slowly like deviate from that, and not in a negative way. And so far, I genuinely like it.
Mark Rosewater, in some of his articles, talks about the color pie, and he specifically addresses issues of bending and breaking what colors do, and they try to stay away from breaking it. Like, for example, black having straight enchantment removal, just unconditional. That's not something they do, but you can bend it in certain ways. Like each player, sacrifices a creature or an enchantment. That's That's bending it. So here, what you're talking about is like a slight bend, and possibly even if they feel like this is actually not even a bend or a break, if this is within the color's identity, it's another way of thinking about what the color does and how it gets there, how it achieves that goal, and saying, this can be in their wheelhouse.
Yeah,
So,
like when you look at Garrett's Belligerence, for example, it is a red card that deals damage. However, it bends it by also populating. So it's still within its, mechanic and its like characteristic, its personality, but it still bends it a little bit to kind of be like, okay, now we're gonna then do something else with it.
Right.
And I really like that because it makes the colors more diverse and less boring, because I get really bored with monocolored stuff, and it's nice to see, one of my favorite monocolored cards is Darkness, which is a black fog, which is so uncharacteristic for black, but I love it because it's so uncharacteristic for black.
We are familiar with the Darkness. So.
Love it. Love Darkness.
I do believe in a thing called love.
So what is the what's the next card we need to talk about?
Apex Altasaur.
What? No, we did him last week.
We
did him last week?
Yes.
Because he's in the morph deck.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Well, he's not in this deck.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Is he not?
No.
Pretty sure we talked about him last week.
Oh my god.
It's full flowering.
He is
orange
in
Frostfang.
Yeah, it's the snake.
Alone. I was excited.
What deck is he in though? Control F.
Now I'm confused.
Apex.
Yeah,
he's in the
morph deck. That's what I said.
He's in the morph deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's under other.
It's like
that's a bit of a flavor loss in my opinion because of Atla.
You want to put him in this deck with eggs, don't you?
Well, then tell you what, Chase. Yes. Tell us what you think about the Apex Altasaur.
No, we're not doing this. I have sour grapes. I don't salty.
Or grapes
just
are
you can make wine.
He's just
not with salty grapes.
He's just a big.
That'd be terrible wine.
He's just a very thick dinosaur. He's a 10-10, and he makes. He's cool. I like him. Whatever. I don't have a crush on him. You have a crush on him.
I do.
He actually does. Well, I'm gonna keep this party train rolling. So the next card is the Frostfang. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
The Oren Frostfang. I was a big fan of the original, the Oren snake from Cold Snap.
Oren Viper. Yeah.
The Viper, because I loved it, and I thought it was a really neat take on the Ophidian, because it's like you don't want to block it, but I want to draw some cards. So this is a cool take on this, and the art is a little terrifying actually. For 3 and 2 green, we got a 2/6 snake. Attacking creatures you control have death touch. That's the Bow of Nylea, right?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So it says, hey, you liked the Viper. All of your creatures can now be Vipers.
I, flavor-wise, love that they're bringing snow creatures back.
Yeah, I was about to say he's also a snow creature, which Brian missed.
I did miss that actually.
Step up, Brian. I'm new here, and I'm already doing your job better than you.
I see how this works.
She actually is. She is talking way more than you are.
Am I going to be replaced with Chase?
I mean, if we could get her.
Don't you dare answer in the comments. We'll now throw 50 bits if Brian's replaced by Chase.
Hit that subscribe button. Chime down in the comments below if you think that Chase should replace Brian. As an unbiased opinion myself, I think I should.
But see, then we'd have to come to your house to play cards on Saturday, and it's your birthday, so that would be weird.
Yeah, no, it's Lordy, lordy. Sorry, Brian. Get good, Brian.
I'm
I'm sorry, Brian. Please don't think
I'm-
of me.
a filthy casual. It's okay. So,
No. The power and toughness on this card. I'm gonna completely just go back to the card.
Please do, yeah.
The power and toughness. I really like this. I really like it when the power and toughness are not the same number. I like that he is a 2/2 with heavy defense, so he can take a lot of damage, and you can like literally look at your friend, and this is the kind of card where you cast him. You may have like one. You may have him out on the battlefield. You may have one thing, and you look at your friend, and you're like, listen. I really need some card draw right now. Can I just ping you for 2? And they'll be like, you know what? Yeah, you can ping me for 2. You ping them for 2, you get a card draw. It's that kind of card, and I like that kind of card because it not only has that death touch, but it also kind of gives you a good benefit. And that's not just him; it's other creatures you control too. So you could even ping them like with one of your like 1/1s, like with a token or something. You know, like, hey, I really need card draw. Can you let me ping ya? And I think that's kind of cool.
I
and
also really like
you lose a creature, so yeah.
I really like that this card will, in some reality, kill Mike.
Oh yeah.
Because Mike it'll be a long game. Mike will have like 15 cards left in his library, and he'll swing with 20 creatures. Because it doesn't say may draw a card.
Right.
Mike, if it makes you feel any better, I had 1 life left in a commander game one time, and I thought seized and killed myself. I did. I didn't realize it too until I read the rest of the card, and I was like, no! And I died.
Mike tends to be self-destructive from sometimes, and it's not a psychological thing. It's just a Mike thing.
Yeah, I'm very cavalier about drawing cards and spending life to do things.
What was the card that caused that to happen? The one most memorable time? Forced.
What's it called? Forced fruition.
Forced
That's
fruition.
the one. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that card.
I
Yeah, I
counted
had
wrong and I
forced
played
fruition.
one too many spells.
Everybody kept looking at him like, "Why is he doing this?"
Because I was going to cast an enormous firestorm, but then I played one too many spells. I screwed up.
All right.
All right, next card. The Selesnya Eulogist. Hey, Dirk, we hadn't heard from you in a while.
So Selesnya Eulogist for 2 and a green is a 3/3 Centaur Druid.
You almost said Tauren Druid, didn't you, you filthy WoW
about
player?
did. I haven't played WoW in forever too, so that's even more fun.
It never leaves you.
Do what?
It never leaves you.
It never does. For 2 and a green, exile target creature card from a graveyard, then populate.
That's some nice targeted hate there.
Yes,
So,
it is.
This feels very Scavenger Ooze. And you know what's a good card?
Ooh,
Is
Scavenger Ooze.
Yes. It was not supposed to be a hard question.
Damn.
I like this card.
I like this card too.
I like it that you don't have to tap the creature itself. I like that you don't have to sacrifice the creature. I like that all you have to do is just pay a simple 3 and you exile something, which really hits like Muldrotha decks and like Shieldred decks. It also hits like Mimeoplasm decks, and it really is just like you want that really cool thing. I'm just gonna ping that away, and then I get more tokens.
Yeah. This is essentially, other than the mana cost, this is 2 benefits. This is the exiling the card.
Exactly.
And the populate. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
honestly
3
see
mana,
no
that's a freaking bargain, dude.
Plus,
That
also
is
it's a 3/3. 3 mana for a 3/3. There you go.
Straight up efficiency.
Yep, that's
I
green.
like it.
All right, so we did Tongarth. Hey, Mike, did you like Tongarth?
Tongarth. Scroll. I think I did. Scrolling the wrong way. Scroll.
He's multicolored.
Oh, I was scrolling the right way. Scroll.
I like that you say scroll while you scroll.
Yo, dog.
Too far. Dang it! What the heck?
I heard you like to scroll.
Here we go. Tongarth, first mate.
What? No, we covered him
yes.
already. I was asking if you liked him.
Oh, yes, I do.
No,
Yeah.
I thought you
Yes.
were looking at him because you hadn't read him yet.
I did, but it was several days ago, and I don't remember what he says anymore.
He's very confusing.
Yeah, he says way too much.
He is very confusing. There are a lot of things this card does and doesn't say.
That is exactly accurate. All right.
I was willing to read them at first, which should tell you exactly how bad off we were.
All right. So now we've got Idol of Oblivion. Okay, this feels like a chase card.
Really now? Bold of you to assume. Just kidding.
Not a chase card, meaning that
Isn't-
people are going to be buying it. I mean, a chase card isn't chase the person
Is
on
it-
the. Yeah, okay.
Is it
Who
an
am I?
egg?
Where am I?
Where?
Okay.
Back in the hole.
Back in the hole. Idol of Oblivion. It's 2 colorless for a rare artifact. You can tap it to draw a card, and you can activate this ability only if you created a token this turn. You can tap 8, then tap it and sack it, and you can create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token.
Whew.
And that flavor text I really like. Is arise, great one, and cleanse the world of enemies.
Cleanse the world of our enemies.
I
So-
wonder
That hurt my
who is
throat.
building a monument to the Eldrazi? 'Cause that's
I'm-
a bad idea.
Well, the art doesn't even depict an Eldrazi.
Is
It
that
just-
stuff at its bottom, the Eldrazi like tentacle feet thing, or
But like the actual figure itself just looks sort of like a core, maybe. Looks
Well,
like
do you remember there was the artifact that had, I guess, the 3 Eldrazi's and their like ancient forms? Or
that was
their
a land?
originals?
Yeah, that's
Was
a
it?
land.
Yeah.
yes?
Yeah.
But it,
But
it
it-
had like a picture, or it had a sculpture of them in their original form. And I don't
Yeah.
know if this is
Well,
anything
not
like
necessarily their what you call their original form. It's just
Well-
that the people of Zendikar gave the Eldrazi Titans some quote unquote background mythology where they said, "Oh, these are our patron gods," and these were the forms that people assumed that they had. So it's like seeing the Eldrazi through the lens of
The people.
right.
And I
But-
think that this could be that, but really
What was-
honestly, I like the tap draw card ability. It's such a low CMC just for tap draw card. And
Yeah.
again, if you're trying to search for answers, that's pretty good.
And I love
Um,
the fact that you don't have to pay any mana for that first ability because
Yes.
you've just spent whatever mana you just used to populate, to create a creature token, however you do that.
Yeah.
Play your Broodmate Dragon, and then you're like, go ahead and tap this, get a free card. So, yeah.
I
I think
also,
the second ability is great, but to
Yeah.
me, it almost just feels like gravy. So
yeah, it does. Just if you just look at it from this angle, 2 mana, tap artifact, draw a card, only if you made a token. That itself is good,
I
especially in
would
this
play that.
deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 8 mana ability, I agree, definitely great because you just create a token, and then with your token doublers, you can just boom, you have 2 10/10s. Then next turn 3 10/10s, and so on. You could even do Girad's Belligerence, deal 1 damage, to your eggs if you're doing eggs. You should be doing eggs, and then boom, there you go, make another idol.
Think she likes eggs.
I like eggs. I actually, fun fact, I like to name all of my decks, and my egg deck is going to be called Don't Overreact.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
There it is. I was like, let it settle.
We
You gotta
got
let
it.
it sizzle. You gotta let it sizzle in your minds before you're like, oh god.
Okay, look, Chase. It's fine for you to post cringy stuff on your Twitter that makes you lose followers.
Excuse you, sir. While I lost 5 followers for posting that, I gained 20 overnight.
I thought
For
it
no
was
reason.
adorable.
I was like, this is a great. I'm like, yay, I like this. And then I posted it, and I'm like, people are gonna like it. And then I was like, scrolled and then like refreshed my page. It's like, you're down 5 followers. And I was like, oh, okay. Honestly, although I deserved it because today during stream I forgot what the word yandere was, and I got it confused with Hokage.
Same thing.
No,
They're
it's not.
I don't know what those words mean, but I'm uncultured.
Yandere is like a girl who's like so into a guy that she's just like murderous. And
thought that was
Hokage
a
is like a
tsundere.
group from Naruto, I think.
I thought there was a tsundere or
Tsundere. Why did I get yandere? I don't know. See, I'm
I don't know.
Oh my
The words, the things, the blah blah blah.
As a side note,
point is I'm cringy, and it can be good. Maybe.
Arise,
Next card.
great one, and cleanse
Next
the
card.
world of our enemies.
Next card.
What's the next card?
Just as a side note, follow up. The land Dirk was talking about with the statues of the Eldrazi Titans, Shrine of the Forsaken Gods, is actually here on the list because it's in one of these decks. And this Idol of Oblivion looks like it might be an Ula statue.
Ooh.
It's designed in a similar way.
I was about to ask
Alrighty.
which of these did it look like, but then I got sidetracked with all of that nonsense.
Hmm.
I can see that being an Ula,
Yeah, it does.
which of course is the personification of Ulamog.
Hmm.
Huh.
I already forgot the name of this card. What's this? There it is. It could be an Ula. It's got the same shaped head.
Yeah, the head and the
it's got
shoulders
things
and
at the
the
bottom. So
tentacles.
Sorry,
Alright,
I'm not
what's-
commenting because I'm staring at the Maurice art again.
There you go again.
Excellent
Yeah.
choice.
All right, so next up is Cliffside Rescuer, which I think we talked about last week.
we did.
Okay, and then
So is
Hate
that all the new-
Mirage.
What's that?
Hate Mirage.
Oh, so Hate Mirage is in the deck. I think I asked that earlier.
Yeah, I
But I
thought
guess
I thought you said that it was in the Madness deck.
Well,
it's
Hate
in
Mirage
both, actually.
is a cool
Oh.
card because it allows you to get unconventional tokens, which then, if you populate, is awesome. But Hate Mirage for 3 in a red is a sorcery. Choose up to 2 target creatures you don't control. For each of those creatures, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. So it's a fascinating blend on Kiki Jiki and active treason. It's kind of stealing someone else's creature
Mm-hmm.
for a turn and then giving it back. In this case, because you're not actually stealing it, you just exile it. And then if you were to copy it with a populate effect, Mike, Mr. Rules person, now that you're here, I believe you get to keep the token because it's the effect from Hate Mirage that exiles the original one. But the new one that you make
Yeah.
doesn't have that baggage, right?
Yeah, it wasn't an ability that the token was created with. It's
Right.
just something that's part of Hate Mirage's effect.
Now, however, at the same time, the new token, the one I make with populate, will also not have haste, correct?
Right, because it was given haste after it was created. It wasn't created with haste.
All right.
All I can think of right now, and I know this is like a very specific situation I'm thinking of, but there's a puppeteer click on the battlefield. You play Hate Mirage, you get puppeteer click, then you go in someone's graveyard, you take a thing, and then you make a copy of it, and then you just take more stuff from people's graveyards, and you just that's all I can think about right now. It's just like, I am stealing your things and your dead things. They're my things now.
All of your things belong to Chase.
They do. They do. If you guys want to look up a song that is my theme song, check out the Mind song on YouTube from the hit children's TV show Lazy Town. That song's about me. I swear, you're gonna look it up later, and you're gonna be like, "This chick is really crazy." Oh my god.
All
'Cause
I know is
it's,
that it's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake.
Do you listen to the Little John version of it? You gotta.
I'm looking that up later now.
You need to. You don't do it on stream. There's some words in there that are very. Hey, it is. It is funny. Also, look up the Mine song, especially the one where every time he says "mine," the bass gets deeper. Anyway, what's the next card?
All right. The last 2 cards are Voice of Many and the Scare Tiller, which we talked about last week.
Love
yes.
Scare.
That's because Scare Tiller is amazing.
Yes, he is.
Hang on. Yeah, Scare Tiller is amazing. It's just really straightforward. So, all right. So now let's look at the rest of the deck. Anything here that we desperately need to mention? Wingmate Rock. Okay, we can't have Broodmate Dragon, but we do have Wingmate Rock. That okay. Cause wrong colors,
Right.
Garrick makes beasts.
And remember, it's called Garrick, not Garuk.
I
Garrick.
always loved this version of Garrick too.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's the primal one, right?
Yeah, Primal
Mhm.
Hunter.
Primal boy.
Let's see.
Soul of Zendikar makes
I
beasts also.
Yeah, Dragon Master Outcast makes a big ass dragon.
I do actually have a question for you guys that I'm
Mhm.
actually very interested in. When I saw that Zetalpa Primal Dawn was getting reprinted, I was actually really confused because it's such a new card. And the price on it was already pretty low before this reprint. So I'm actually really confused as to why it's being reprinted.
Because it's awesome.
Because it's a
Does
commander
it-
card.
It's just
Wait, what?
Killer
where is
answer.
Zetalpa?
It's the dinosaur chroma.
yeah, flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible. It was printed so like not long ago, and it's already so cheap. I was like,
Oh,
they're
here it is.
reprinting it.
Yeah, it's because, well, so when they reprint cards in Commander decks, they reprint them because they fit in the deck.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really care about, at least not outwardly so, about price points and whatnot in these for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
And Zetalpa Primal Dawn, like I think Mike said, is totally straight up a Commander card.
Yeah.
Plus, look at that art. Good lord.
I love that art. I love that art so much.
I remember for a period of time, the 60 card pre-constructed decks had, came with a little book that talked about strategy, and for a period of time they also came with suggestions for things to add to the deck or things to change about the deck to make a more like quote unquote serious.
You mean make it more
competitive deck?
excellent?
Yes.
Boo!
Exactly.
Boo!
Eggs. I like them scrambled. I like them hard boiled. I like them in my deck. Eggs.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
So with this
as a roundabout way to getting to my thought, they didn't really do that anymore. So like Chewy said, if they find a card that's going to be interesting in the deck, they're just going to put it in there. They're not going to put something else in there and then tell you, hey, you could also add this to the deck to make it better. They're just going to do that part for you.
You're so hard boiled.
Boo!
Oh, God.
Oh, hey, look, Mimic Vat. That's
I really
perfect.
wish you guys would like my yolks.
All right, I'm kicking her off the call, y'all.
Nuh-uh.
But don't.
I'm funny.
So,
Me alone.
still looking at the deck, the Phyrexian Rebirth is a really nice touch.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. I think we're gonna see Phyrexia real soon. Really, I do. I think we're gonna be coming back to it real quick.
After Eldraine, perhaps?
I think
Or maybe another set in there.
I think what they might do is to kind of alleviate us from the saturation we've had with planes that we've already been to. They're probably going to do Eldraine, maybe one more set, and then we're immediately going to be going probably to further the story, something with like the Phyrexians, I think. Because we do have also, not only do we have this art depiction right here with the Phyrexian Rebirth, we also have Kurik with Phyrexian mana, the return of Phyrexian mana, and I think they're very deliberate in their actions and what they print. I think that they banned Iona for a specific reason that we're probably going to see in Eldraine, and that's why they unbanned Painter's Servant, because of something we're going to see in Eldraine. And I think that they're having these depictions right now with like stuff like a Mimic back and the Phyrexian mana in Kurik, because we will be seeing. They want to make people who may be new players get familiar with the concept of Phyrexian mana, so that when we do return to Phyrexia, they're going to know exactly what to do.
Well, you talk about the banning of those cards. That's only a banning for the commander list, and as far as I know, the rules committee doesn't have access to future card sets that are in development, right? So
I do like to think that some choices are deliberate, in terms of just like interacting with wizards, just because as a commander player, I mean, that's pretty much the only format I play, save for Pauper every now and then when I get a little bit tired of commander. When it comes to Commander, I have not seen Iona in action since I myself played her about 2.5 years ago in a deck that lasted maybe like 3 weeks. And even the CEDH people that I do see who play white don't play her either. So for me, that was an interesting choice to ban because I don't see her in a lot of action.
I know
Well,
that
you don't. But you play in one place.
Cater to me.
Like around here.
Well, I've also played in other places.
So if I was to cater to you,
Yeah.
you like eggs.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay,
All
let's go to
right.
the next deck. We still got to
Next
do
deck.
all these cards.
I like chicken nuggets, which are also
See,
from chickens, which make eggs. Come full
I'm
circle.
kicking her off the call, y'all.
No!
All right,
Next
so
card.
the next
All
deck
right.
is the Merciless Rage Rakdos Madness deck.
Yeah.
Here.
And the main commander for this deck is, I'm scrolling so far. Where is she?
Angie Falconwrath.
Ah, yeah, she's all the way up at the top. For 1, a black and a red, she's a 1/3 vampire. She has haste for a 1/3. Yes. And then you can tap her and discard a card to draw a card. Goes great with madness. And finally, whenever you discard a card, if it has madness, untap Angie Falconwrath.
Whew.
Cool.
I like this card for its ability. I'm very opinionated on this card though. I like it because it's pretty much a faithless looting on a stick. I like that. I like that she has haste. She can immediately do that. Pretty much you can just, continuously like untap her with madness because all you're going to be running is madness stuff. My one thing, and it's not like a big thing, but I have been vocal about this on Twitter. I feel like vampires and commander are overly saturated, and having her be a vampire, it's a lot. It's very like, oh geez, here's another vampire. Like
We get it.
yeah, like it's just it adds more support to a tribe in commander that needs no support. Like I had an Edgar Markov deck, I built that deck, I played that deck, I broke it down because all it did was win. And like, yeah, the whole point of commander is to win, but it's about the climb to get there, Shout out to Miley Cyrus for It's the Climb, but like
I already was thinking about that before even when you said it's about the climb. I'm like, mm-hmm.
you get me. You get
Yeah,
me. You
I
get
do.
me. But
And I agree. I mean, I like vampires as a tribe, and I think that's one of the reasons they probably continue to get support. I
mhm.
bet you that if you were to ask wizards, that vampires is one of the tribes that really just pulls. People are like, yeah, we think it's
Yeah.
cool. We want to see more support for it.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. I do. And I'm one. I love the weird tribes. I'm going to say it. I'm like eggs because it's not something we see all. My point being, it's not something we see all the time. We see vampires. We see angels. We see dragons. Those
Yeah.
are all really cool. We don't
Mhm.
see a ton of Jinn. So I see a Jinn monk and I'm like, yeah, all right. So,
Yeah. That's
but-
kind of. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
But the ability's good. I hope this one does not turn out to be stupidly broken. When somebody's just running like, I don't like auto win broken decks, and I don't know.
I don't either. And when you look at this deck, as soon as this card was spoiled, I know I'm talking a lot, y'all. I'm so sorry.
That's why you're here.
That's
So,
true.
It's an audio
but
podcast, yeah.
That's yeah.
Your ear candy.
Yeah. When the hold on, let me get real close
If
to the mic.
you're just
and get all-
gesturing a whole lot the whole time, then that's
I
kind
am.
of pointless.
I do actually gesticulate a lot when I record podcasts. I like make peace signs a lot. I like stick my tongue out. Y'all can't really see it, so it's just for me. But when I first saw Angie, I immediately looked it up. There's a good portion of Madness cards. There's actually a lot more Madness cards that are older that I didn't realize were printed. There's some that were, I think, green and some that were blue. When I looked it up, there were 10 cards that were vampire focused that are also Madness vampires. Or like, for instance, like an enchantment that, gives your vampires madness, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there is a way to make it a vampire central deck. And that for me just kind of made me go, really? Like there's just a lot to do with that. But looking past that, I really would have liked to have seen a different color identity for madness because there are so many older cards that have madness that are outside of Rakdos.
Mm.
Let that soak in.
It's so good.
Hold on,
I'm
if
not
you
sure
give
how I
like,
feel about this art.
I'm looking up madness cards right now, so I can further crap on the fact that I'm like madness. No,
I mean,
thank
the
you.
big one was the worm.
Yeah.
Arrogant worm?
Yeah.
Arrogant
Yeah.
Worm.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting about the top tier basking root walla? His madness cost 0 people.
I remember the basking root wall.
Right. See, we were playing back then. With
West had him as
So-
like the #1 card in Torment to like look out for. They were like, hey. And this was shortly after I started playing, so I'm like, this publication has said that this reputable publication has said that this is going to be an amazing card. Therefore, this must be the breakout card of the set. And I mean, Basking Rule Wall is pretty cool. Inquest didn't get everything right, but
I would just definitely like to see. I really wish they would have moved away from Rakdos and done something a little bit different. Because there's some white cards, there's some green cards, and there are some blue cards of madness. And I would have liked to have seen them expand upon that more rather than just kind of falling back on, vampire madness. Because pretty much what you have, a Stenzia Masquerade, stuff like that is just going to be good. It's just vampire centric, has a madness cost. It's not bad.
I think it probably just felt like the safest idea because discarding is pretty well established in black and red. So I think it just felt like, well, madness, we know it goes here. Whereas some of the others, like you said, with Populate, pushing the color and pushing that into red, that's really interesting. They kind of play it safe with this one.
I think I'm gonna like dive into pretty much what they were doing in the room when they were making this deck. They made the 3 other decks, and they're like, all right, guys, we're on our last deck. It's time. We've been working hard. We've been working for months and months and months and months, and now finally we just have to make this last deck. And they're like, all right, guys, we bent the limits, we pushed the boundaries on these colors, we made it a little bit weird. Now madness. What can we do? And the guy in the back, the intern's like, we've been here for 8 months. Make it Rakdos. And they're like, brilliant. It's Rakdos. We're done here.
Next.
And they're like, yeah. They're like, God, we're tired. Just make it Rakdos.
Open the doors. Let him out.
Yeah. They're like, I'm tired. You tired, Bob? And Bob's like, yeah, man, I'm tired. I'm like, cool. Okay,
Poor
Rakdos.
Bob.
Yeah.
I hate Bob.
That's what they did. They made it Rakdos.
You know
I do want to point out that the flavor text on this card reminds me a lot of Chase. I don't know why.
Oh, really? That's mean. You're mean.
Maybe a little
I'm
bit.
leaving. I'm leaving.
Ha! Back in the
got her to leave.
hole.
You got her to leave on her own. How'd you do that? That's devious.
We all
I fell
hide
back
a
in
little
the hole.
madness behind our sophistication, do we not?
I am
remember-
very sophisticated. I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember
Exactly.
thinking, especially in college, that I hung out with weird people, but it also occurred to me that they were the most interesting people. So yeah, we're all a little off, I guess.
We're all
Yeah,
mad here.
We all play Magic.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
mean,
lie. The other day,
sure.
I looked at somebody at our card shop, and I was like, I'm not really weird, am I? And he looked at me and he goes, Chase, you're here on a Saturday night playing Magic with us. You could be doing anything else. You're a little weird. I was like,
Threshold has been crossed.
I was like, oh God,
So
you're right.
I'm gonna try to keep us moving along because Dirk is about to fall asleep.
I think Dirk actually is asleep.
There is a 4th person on this podcast.
A
Hey,
fifth?
Dirk, why don't you tell us about Chainer? Because I really like Chainer. I liked the original version of Chainer. I think this new one's really interesting. So tell us about Chainer.
So Chainer, Nightmare Adept. For 2 black and a red, legendary human minion that's a 3/2. And playing into the discard theme, discard a card. You may cast a creature card from your graveyard this turn. Activate this ability only once each turn. And whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if you didn't cast it from your hand, it gains haste until next turn.
Oh my god.
Until your next turn.
I love this card in ways that I'm not prepared to accept fully.
Art's amazing.
Art is amazing.
Has almost a Belmont look to it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean almost? Chainer is totally a Belmont now.
Okay, now I'm hearing bloody tears in the background. So.
Right?
But yeah, I really liked the original Chainer from Torment. I thought it was a really cool card. And it functions a little differently than this one, but I don't know. I like this one.
So
because you still have to pay the because you still have to pay the mana cost for the creature that you're playing from the graveyard. This is less about cheating out stuff and more about just getting more value.
Oh yeah. So
go ahead.
Okay, the second ability. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if you didn't cast it from your hand. All right, let's go through this real quick. If you are, I don't know, Experimental Frenzy or something like Future Sight, a creature from the top of your library.
Yep.
Okay, it gives haste. If you
suspend, but suspend or it gives haste.
If you use his ability to cast a creature card from your graveyard, gets haste.
Mm-hmm.
If you discard a Madness card and it's a creature and you cast it that way, it gets haste because Madness does not cast from your hand. It's cast from, where the hell is Madness cast from?
Exile.
Okay. I know in order to make it work in the rules, Madness is really bizarre. So
Mm-hmm.
I, as a person who loves tripping up the beautiful flow of you lovely gentlemen, I am enamored with the art. I'm just like, I'm looking at it right now, and I really, there's something about it that really makes me like it, because I'm not a huge Rakdos person, and the ability, it is good, but it doesn't draw me in. But like when I look at that art, it makes me really want to do something with this card. I like really like the flow of it. The weird little like snake things in the background. When you look at the original Chainer art, you don't see that. I think that's a cool little detail. Just me talking about art.
wait.
Anyway, let me look at Marisi. Marisi.
Why does Chainer look like he and Braids shop at the same store?
Honestly, this art is way better. He lost that horrible stash in that original art that killed me.
He did have facial hair in there. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it looks better now. That facial hair really throws me off. He looks like he's wearing some eyeliner and some facial hair, and I'm like, that really is unsettling. That old art, like, it's a really good art, but just like there's something about him that creeps me out. But this one, I'm like, hey Chainer, how you doing? Yeah, you wanna go play some Magic later?
So
he's like, no, I have to fight. Excuse you. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, stupid.
You can tell he's already upgraded his whip twice though.
Yeah.
Going back to Castlevania. I love this card. I'm all over it. I'm here for it. I'm down with it. I'm up for it. Whatever the kids say these days, that's me.
Yeah.
As my mom likes to say, but she's quoting me when she says it, so I know mom's cool and all, but she's not that cool. But as my mom would say, now I forgot how she words it, is like I would hit that with the fury of 1,000 suns or something like that.
You are killing it right now.
I can't remember. Like mom like messes up one thing about it and it makes it like really bizarre, but now I can't remember what it is. Anyway, let's move on. What's the other freaking Greven? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mike. Greven.
Yes, Greven. Greven, Predator Captain. 3 black and a red. It's a 5/5 legendary human warrior with menace. Greven, Predator Captain, gets +X/+0, where X is the amount of life you've lost this turn.
Totally a Warlock card.
That's a nice callback to Hatred.
Very, yeah.
Whenever Greven attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, you draw cards equal to that creature's power, and you lose life equal to that creature's toughness.
This is really cool as well.
Yeah.
Again, me being who I am and me being an art person for some reason. This podcast, I like that the art is it just matches so perfectly with Gerard's art.
Oh yeah,
Love that. I like that
Oh,
little
yeah.
tidbit of flavor right there.
Cool.
because it's awesome. What was
Yeah.
that? That was
This
Magno
art for
Creole.
Grevin doesn't look, huh?
Oh, I said that was Magno Creole subbed for the 14th month, and he says, "If we worship the Predator Captain, is it a Grevin image? Huh? Huh?"
God.
So
Uh,
I do have a question for you, gentlemen. In the art, there's a very faded image of Volrath to the left, but to the right, I cannot seem to make out who that
Looks
is.
like it's Krovax.
Yeah, that's Krovax. I
agree.
recognize the hairline.
oh,
Poor guy.
makes sense then because Krovax replaced Volrath, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of flavor.
Yeah. I was going to say earlier that this art for Grevin isn't quite as, imposing as the art for the original card, but it's still good. Still a good picture of him.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be imposing. It's supposed to be menacing. Because he's...
Ah.
Chase is rubbing off on me here. Takani asks, how do the two clauses check? Does he get the power for the sacrifice cause life loss? Yes. Because it says when he attacks, so he's now attacking, and that happens, and you lose life, so then the gets plus X plus O is just a static ability. So before he makes
it's just
contact...
always counting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just always counting. So whenever he makes contact, he's already got the buff.
Yeah. So, like, even if you fling him outside of combat, he gets the plus X plus O. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's always on.
Like the corner case that will come up once in a million years is someone is attacking you with a big thing with first strike and another thing that can eat Grevin and live, and then you let the thing with first strike hit you, and so then Grevin gets big and kills the other thing that he blocked. That's just one of those weird corner cases that popped into my head, that your opponent will miss on attack and you'll totally see it, and then you'll feel like a god, but then you'll die.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I just realized I accidentally muted myself. What I was about to say is, that sounds like a good way to die.
See?
See, I contribute very well to this podcast.
She's good at this game.
I am good at this game. I'm looking at the chat right now because I pulled it up on my phone. Hey, chat people, because my computer's crap, and I'm afraid to pull it up on my computer. Anyway,
let's see. So the other legendary creature is Chase's Boo here.
it is my boo. It is my boo. Indeed, indeed. Which boo is it?
I don't remember.
Crick.
Did you like Crick or not?
Crick.
Did I? No, I did not.
Never mind then. Hey, Mike.
All right. So, Crick, son of Yawgmoth. It costs a total of 7. It's 4 generic and 3 black Phyrexian mana symbols. So, that's a small problem. When there's Phyrexian mana symbols involved, there's something naughty going on. So Crick is a legendary horror minion. It's a 2/2. It has life links, so you can get some of that life back if you decided to pay the Phyrexian mana with life. For each black mana in a cost, that's any cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that mana. And whenever you cast a black spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Crick, son of Yawgmoth.
I'm guessing that the son part is an honorarium because pretty sure that Yawgmoth never biologically had any kids. So
Well, he
Yeah,
has
I
protection
remember.
from humans, doesn't he?
All
Yeah.
I know is I want to know who diddled Yog.
There she is.
And there we go. Don't think anybody did. I think it's more like a honorary,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I can't
I
remember
think it's female
Carrick's.
spawn.
Have you seen how he looks in Modern Horizons? What? Can we just go back to what everyone's been saying, which is stupid, sexy Yawgmoth?
Yeah.
Because Lorelai, hashtag stupid, sexy Yawgmoth, is something I live by.
Hey, Mike, ethics question.
Uh-huh.
Can we say diddled on this show?
That's an ethics question.
You know, it's not really a medical term. I'm not sure
Is it
where
in
to
the
place
Bible?
that on the spectrum. No, I haven't seen it yet. I've read through that a few times over the course of my life and haven't noticed that word come up.
I guess it depends on which translation you're reading.
I guess it
Ooh.
does.
Ooh,
Urban Dictionary translation. I don't know. If
who's more beautiful, Yawgmoth, Modern Horizons Yawgmoth, or Marcy? Who's more beautiful?
I mean, that's...
then you're just getting down to a matter of opinion. I don't know
Yeah,
if
you're asking...
Yeah.
What's with all
Yawgmoth's
these objective beauty questions? What the hell?
Listen, it's a hard choice. They're
Although-
both so because Yawgmoth, he's got that like, ooh, I'm dangerous kind of thing. But Marcy, he's like, I'm a big buff cat who will protect you and pick you up, and that is also an added bonus. I like to think.
Also, Stark answered that question immediately.
People
But-
in the chat are saying, well, I see a Marcy, so I'm gonna agree. I would
Yeah.
choose Cat Daddy.
He also says, I don't like guys who'll have me dissected. And you know, that's a good point. But okay, so back to... I don't think it's Crick. I think it's like Crick. Is that it? Can we say that? Can we say Crick? It's... But when I first read this card, I went, because that sounds awful.
yeah, it's a major problem.
Like, Phyrexian mana, by and large, was a mistake. So, like, how? Why? What?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes everything majorly... like, the last time I had to deal with Phyrexian mana in a game, I was playing an unstable Winchester draft with Gabe. And he played Spike, you know, with liberal use of the Phyrexian mana, and went to go get an Umazawa's Jitty and beat me to death with it. So Phyrexian mana is just bad, you know.
Yeah. And this
Sorry,
is-
I was just thinking about Marcy.
Oh my god.
Continue.
And the only other thing that potentially worries me is that this is legacy legal. But I don't think it quite does enough to be a problem in legacy because it still costs 4.
Yeah,
still
it still
costs-
costs 4.
So
But
So it's relatively safe in that respect. But still.
Yeah.
you know what was always holding Dark Ritual back? They had to pay a black mana for it. Wouldn't it be so much better? I mean, maybe it'll finally get its time, right? Black Ritual 2020.
Dark Ritual's fine.
Yeah, but what if it wasn't?
It's all those 3 drops that's the problem.
All right,
All
what else
right.
we got?
So that's Rick. What is next? Let's see here. Archfiend of Spite. That sounds like a
Archfiend
Mike
of
card.
Spite.
Is this gonna kill Mike? Oh, it's not. Okay, I'll read it then. Archfiend of Spite for 5 black is a 6/6 flying demon with madness for 3 black, because of course. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to Archfiend of Spite, that source's controller loses that much life unless they sack that many permanents. Wow,
That's
that is Spite.
Hateful.
Damn.
That hurts.
I guess kill it with, like, minus toughness and just kill effects. Don't kill it with damage, because you're going to have a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this
Exile.
really-
Also, some good exile effects just eliminates that.
This is in the red black deck, but you know what really likes this is cards that force creatures to fight. Because the source of the damage is going to be the creature that's fighting this.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty good.
Like Apex Altasaur.
Okay, so I've got it. So you play a Phyrexian Negator, not the Obliterator, the Negator. Then you gift it to an opponent. Then you make them fight your Archfiend of Spite with their Phyrexian Negator, and then they hate you forever.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the chain of events. Because that feels like a whole lot of effort to, make them Saxon permanent.
You just gotta be as hateful as you can be with black and red.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I think this has it in spades.
I don't think so.
Well, it's definitely in the wrong color if you're just going to be like, and it dies. Just
I
like
think-
removal.
I think black is actually a very sweet color that, really is helpful to you. Really doesn't do anything to your life total. It's actually a very giving color.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's got Stockholm Syndrome.
I'm about to say, are we
Did
talking about
Black
the
lock
same
her
game
up
here?
until she was okay to...
Back in
I will say, because I was totally here for it and very present and not at all running to grab a laptop charger, I do love Keurig, son of Yawgmoth. I think he is a babe. I know someone diddled Yawgmoth. I can feel it in my soul. I know it. As a woman, I can feel it. And I just really honestly think that card is bananas. Also, Archfiend of
You just
Spite.
like it has fit form-fitted armor is what it is.
Yeah. It's just looking at him. He kind of reminds me of oh god, is it Pinhead from
Yeah.
Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Hellraiser, yeah.
He's still got his beautiful face. So
Beautiful
it's just the rest
face.
of him.
His that's
Well, it's like-
that's the Yawgmoth part he got. He got the beautiful face, but got the ugly everything else.
It's like he's got a football, like padded armor and everything,
Yeah.
and someone just decided, like they played a little too much Fallout 4, and we're like, you know what a football, armor needs? Spikes.
He's like, shut up, it's my cosplay.
Oh, man, I want to see a Crick cosplay now. That'd be freaking awesome.
I agree. That would be really cool.
I don't think he's gonna make it through metal detector.
Well, they're not going to be made out of actual...
Well, yeah, these won't.
Phyrexian
Well, his is not
spikes.
metal, but I'm just saying, cosplayers they're gonna go through TSA, and TSA is gonna be like, just gonna shake their heads and say no.
Do you suppose Crick looked at the Shredder and said, I can do better?
Oh, totally, yeah. He was... Look, when he was a kid, Yawgmoth kept having to go, will you shut off those Ninja Turtles? I'm trying to overthrow whatever the hell it is Yawgmoth did.
I think that joke landed gracefully.
Thank you. I thought
Yeah.
so too. All right,
Yeah.
next card is the Bone Miser.
The Bone Miser, he's ready.
I am Ice Miser. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes, right? No.
Think so.
I am Bone Miser. I'm Mr. Skull.
I eat your bones.
Ah, yeah.
He does. Look at him. He's a bone eater. What is he holding? It looks cute, whatever it is. I just zoomed in on it. It's not cute.
Is it a little miniature Eiffel Tower?
I
can't-
thought it was like a little straw-looking bottle gnomes, and then I zoomed in, and I'm like, that looks.
Okay,
It,
now
to
I'm not-
Very-
me, it looks like a crustacean of some sort, like a seahorse.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But let's read what he does, shall we? Oh, can I
Well,
read a card? I haven't read a card
go
yet
right
in a
ahead.
while. I'll
Yeah.
do it. Yay. This is my show now. Bone Miser. 4 and a black for a rare zombie wizard. He's a 4/4. Whenever you discard a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever you discard a land card, you add 2 black mana. And whenever you discard a non-creature, non-land card, you draw a card.
So this sounds familiar, and also he looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is he the guy
Waste Not.
from Waste Not, the community created card?
He's the waste
Yeah.
not guy.
And doesn't he do waste not things?
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah, that was the joke.
I'm so sorry.
I'm kicking her
That
off the
was
call
so
again, y'all.
That was so hateful. I'm so sorry.
It's because we just read the Archfiend of Spite, see?
It really is. I'm still in the mood of my very weird, like, laugh today. I streamed and I did a very fake laugh during stream, and now I can't turn it off.
So, Mike, I don't want to see you building a Bone Miser deck where it's all Bone Miser and non-creature spells in a sack outlet where you just mill yourself. Just don't do it.
Well, considering you're not the boss of me, I don't have to.
I am totally not the boss of you. I'm just the one trying to keep you from,
Oh my god.
destroying yourself over and over again. All right, what's next?
Alright, so Bone Miser's awesome because Waste Not is awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a zombie, so zombie tribal.
Hey, yeah. Alright, next up is
Crazy.
Curse of Fool's Wisdom, which
Okay,
I'm
I
pretty
like
sure I have to read
curses.
this one because
The
it's
art.
Fool's Wisdom. So Curse of Fool's Wisdom for 4 black is an enchant player or a curse. Whenever enchanted player draws a card, they lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. Ooh. And it has madness of 3 and a black.
That is
Ooh.
a spicy underworld dream.
It is such a spicy underworld dreams.
The only downside is you're only enchanting one opponent at a time.
That is a major downside, but I'll
But-
take it.
It's a major downside for multiplayer, but Underworld Dreams doesn't get you any life by itself. So this is really cool, and the madness, of course, makes it really interesting.
This art cracks me up. I laugh every time I see it. The card is cool, but the art, every time I see it, I just imagine the guy going, "Oh!" Like he's freaking out a little bit. No, just me.
Yeah, I think it's just you.
That's
yeah.
just you.
It's just me.
I find it somewhat terrifying. So
Like,
I
I've
think
been
it's
watching
funny.
a lot of Looney Tunes lately, so what my brain sees is that Pepe Le Pew is in the book.
See, I
See-
grew up on scary movies, so this for me is like a cupcake. I'm like, this is funny. Look at him. He's like, ah.
For me, it's the brain slugs from Futurama. This on their heads, and he's like, but really, what it is that he's not screaming; he's just comatose as it's sucking the wisdom out of his head.
Mike, what do you see when you see this card?
Yeah, Mike.
Really, I see exactly what Chase was talking about. I think it's
Yes!
too.
Yes,
Who would have thought that this would be like the Rorschach test
it
of
is.
magic cards?
Rorschach test.
Rorschach.
Rorschach, whatever. I'm not a watchman.
Thank goodness he's not Dr. Manhattan, because we make him wear pants.
I don't want to
You're
see
not the
that.
boss of me, to quote Mike.
You don't know how I dress when I record these podcasts. Now, in order for you to know how I dress, you have to actually go to our Patreon.
Baby. All right. Next up, we've got Nightmare Unmaking. This one's nice to say. Hey, Dirk, you hadn't read a card in a minute. Read the Nightmare Unmaking, would you?
So, Nightmare Unmaking for 3 and 2 black. It's a sorcery card. Choose one. First option, exile each creature with power greater than the number of cards in your hand. Option 2, exile each creature with power less than the number of cards in your hand.
I love this card because it's kind of like a Crux of Fate, but for cards in your hand. I like
Yeah.
that. It's like destroy dragon creatures, destroy non-dragon creatures, and I like that it's like, we're just gonna swing, in terms of like power and toughness, and I like that.
Yeah. And the only things this gives you a great deal of versatility. The only things you can never hit with this are whatever creatures happen to have power equal to the number of cards.
Yeah.
And so, but otherwise you have a whole lot of choice here. So
Also means you
I'm
can
gonna pick-
craft, and in this deck especially, you can craft your hand to take out
Yes.
whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
right.
hmm If you wanted to have like a really big hand, you just throw in some like some nice awesome like recursion if you can't get anything back, and then you get like a good thought vessel going, or a reliquary tower, and you just keep on building your hand and building your hand. Mike, I'm giving you ideas here. Please jot this down. so that
Oh, he
you can...
doesn't need to jot it down. He's already in love.
Yeah, just remember when you're counting the cards in your hand, don't count Nightmare Unmaking because it's not
Correct.
going to be in your hand when it's
Yeah.
resolved.
And I can see a lot of people being like, all right, cool. And then playing it and being like, wait, I just had another.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, if
Yeah.
you want to wipe the board, just make sure you have no cards in your hand.
There you go.
Yeah.
There.
Go
Okay.
easy way.
Hellbent and
Smart.
choose more.
Smart.
See, Dark is the one that comes up with the like.
It's like, well, let's go ahead and fix this
Very-
problem. Let's
Yeah.
eliminate all the problem options.
All right. What's
But
next?
if you do it that way, it won't exile any of the eggs, so they'll still be free to die later.
Hey!
Bring it back to eggs.
Exactly.
Whoa!
All right. What's next?
All right, next up is Angie's Ravager. Which I'm gonna
Angie's
guess is
Ravager
red.
for
Yeah.
2 and a red is a vampire berserker. It's
Oh,
a 3/3.
his love for you is like a truck.
Full
Sorry.
of guns.
Right. So it's a 3/3 for 3, and it has to attack each combat if able. Whenever it attacks, you discard your hand, then draw 3 cards.
That's
And-
so good.
And it has a madness of 1 and a red. So yeah, you're lacking a way to get your madness going. Well,
There it
here you
is.
go.
That just you dump your you pretty much if you have a lot of mana, you discard your whole hand. If almost all of that is creature cards with madness, you're golden.
Yeah. Well, and there's some non-creature cards that have madness as well.
And but it's an attacks trigger, so it's not like when this deals combat. No.
Just attacks, and you've got to attack with it. You have to attack all the time. You don't have a choice. You got to do it. I've always found cards that kind of like make you do the smart thing interesting, where they're like, okay, you could play this card, maybe you want to do this, maybe you want to do that, but then the card is like, no, this is how I work. Look, read me. So the only downside to this is you untap and you're at like 5 mana and you draw the like 6-drop you're gonna need next turn, and you're like, because it's going away, because you have to attack with this and you have to, none of these are May abilities. So, but you know, if you're playing the deck right, hopefully you're prepared for whatever.
I feel like this is a card that you're going to see a lot of people forgetting that you're going to have to discard your whole hand.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to be like, all right, I have to attack each turn, and you attack, and you're like, okay, cool. And they're like, wait a minute. I messed up. I feel like that is something that is going to happen.
Yeah. Probably.
With this card, because attack each combat if able, you're like, okay, I just got to swing, got him out, but it's gonna suck because sometimes you'll be able to like build your hand a certain way.
Mhm.
Maybe you get that board wipe in your hand, or it's like you're like, okay, cool, I have my board wipe in my hand. All I have to do is just like
Mhm.
lower amount in my hand, and then you attack, and then you accidentally get rid of your board wipe, and you're like, oh god.
Well, I just don't. This is definitely not, in my opinion, a card that you'd play early game.
No.
I don't see you having enough mana set up early enough in order to maximize this one.
I don't know. I might play this early on in my Cedrus deck, which is like everything comes back from the graveyard, so it doesn't really matter. The
Yeah,
graveyard
well-
in that deck is my hand as well. So, but most of the time, yeah, you don't want to. You could especially with your lands, if you play this too early, you might find yourself getting mana screwed if you don't draw a land off the ability. So buyer beware. Vampire Berserker may be more dangerous than advertised.
Imagine that.
He's the bad boy of this deck.
Next.
I like that pity laugh. Thank you. I like it. It was like a, yeah.
See what you did there.
My bad.
Next.
I try.
Next
I
up
try
is
so hard to be funny.
Skyfire Phoenix.
I like this card. It's cool.
Oh, that's my
But I
favorite.
just read a card, so
Caw. Mother.
Ah!
I can't say that on this show. Skyfire Phoenix for 2 red is a 3/3 Phoenix with flying and haste. Okay. And like most of the Phoenix, what's plural of Phoenix? Phoenicians in
Phoenicians.
Magic, it's got some way to come back from the graveyard. In this case, it's when you cast your commander, it jumps from graveyard to the battlefield.
Cool.
Now that's the hotness.
That is.
And it goes from. There's
Oh,
two kinds
crap,
of phoenixes. There's the ones that go
That was
back to the,
unintentional.
there's two kinds of phoenixes. The ones that go to the battlefield and the ones that go to your hand. And obviously the battlefield's a little better because you have to replay it. So yeah, this
Mike,
and it
really,
has
you
haste.
didn't mean that?
No.
Makes it so much better. I'm sorry.
Good call.
Ah!
Oh, that was a good one.
Thank you. Pay me.
A
Jackson.
compliment. That was a good one.
No, I'll take all the money in your pocket, and I hope it's quarters.
Sorry to be you. I changed into workout pants before we got started. I have exactly no dollars.
I
You
always
before.
have no dollars.
I mean,
though.
you're lucky I'm wearing pants at all.
Oh
so.
my god. Okay, that's what Chad's
See,
been talking about. For
if
the
you
want to
if you want to know what he's wearing, get on that Patreon.
Okay, moving on.
You would have
Wildfire
known
Devils.
before.
Wildfire Devils.
Again, going back to the art, I love the little one frolicking in the background. Look at him.
Look, he's
He
so
is
happy.
He is
He's
so
like,
joyful.
"Aw." Yeah, they really are. Can I read this one? Have I spoken too much?
You should go.
No, never.
I mean, like, you should read it. Like, go
Mm.
ahead.
You should go as in leave. Wildfire Devils. 3 in a red for a 4/2 rare devil. When it enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, choose a player at random. That player exiles an instant or a sorcery card from your graveyard. Copy that card, and you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost.
That's,
What?
that's pretty ridiculous.
I like it because you can. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like it because you're obviously going to be playing against. I don't know about other LGSs, but my LGS is doing an event where it's like pre-release, but with your commander decks. You're going to be playing against that Jeskai deck, that flashback deck, which has some really nice spells going on in there. And really, you can honestly like take that spell and cast that. Just like take their spell, their really overpowered spell that's not even in your colors, and use it for yourself. And I think that's really cool.
I'm a big fan of like Eye of the Storm and anything that lets you cast other people's spells, because I just think that kind of effect is really neat. And so even just something as simple as playing this early and maybe the only thing in a graveyard, the only instant or sorcery in a graveyard is like a wild growth, and you're like, sure, great, I'll take it, because it's a bit of mana acceleration that I wouldn't otherwise have access to in this color. Neat. And then the fact that you get this effect at the beginning of your upkeep, that's really cool. I like this. I like this a lot. It's got a low toughness, so people can be like, kill it. And that's fine, but I kind of wish it stuck around a bit longer. I feel like it's going to draw a lot of attention.
I have a judge question.
Okay.
So you're playing this card. Let's say you play this card. Let's say you choose a card with flashback, okay? And you get that card. Would you pay that card for its actual CMC, or would you pay that flashback cost? Because you're choosing a card that is in a graveyard. So would you be able to do it for its flashback cost? Well, never mind, because you can pay it without play. I'm stupid. I don't read. Ignore me.
I was wondering if you were going to cycle back around.
Ignore me. I don't know what I was thinking.
You've never met my mother, and I'm assuming because she does not live in the state, you probably would have had no reason. But
I was at your
remember-
mom's house last night.
I'm just gonna leave that one alone. Mom I love her, but I remember a couple times as a kid where she would ask a question, and then she would start to talk about it. And if you were just quiet long enough, she would eventually answer her own question.
Oh yeah,
And you'd
my
be
mom
like,
used to do
yeah,
that too.
sure.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's a
Well-
mom thing.
I feel very stupid. Ignore me. Anyway,
No, it's fine. All right.
it's not fine. Don't
all right.
ever say it's fine. It's not fine.
How close are we to being done?
Very. We've got the Eon engine.
I love this card. I love this card. I love this card. Chase loves this card.
Did Chase just level up? That sounded like a level up theme.
Yeah.
I like
Are you aware that it's not an egg?
It is. Listen, anything's an egg if you try hard enough. I like this card because.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
All right, well, what's it do? What's it do?
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because I did realize my little sing song did sound like I leveled up. It did. I played it back in my head and I was like, wow, I got a little stronger.
No.
Aeon Engine. I'm gonna steal another card. I'm gonna do 2 cards in a row because why? I'm the boss. I'm the boss. Aeon Engine. 5 mana, rare artifact. It ETB's tapped, but when you tap it, you exile it and you reverse the game's turn order, which, oh my god, is probably gonna be the most annoying thing ever. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's going to be super obnoxious.
You don't have to do this at sorcery speed. So I can play this, and if I'm playing with Mike next to me and then Dark continuing down the line, and so I play this and they take their turns, I untap this. That's without any untap shenanigans. And I take my turn, and then I tell Mike to go. And then during Mike's upkeep, I say, hey, guess what? We're going to switch the order. So Mike finishes his turn. This doesn't take away his turn. And then I'm essentially skipping Dirk for a second, and I get to go. But then it's Dirk's turn next. This feels like an Uno card.
I'm about to say, this is like playing... If you've ever been that person who was going to be your turn next, and then turn got reversed, and you're going, what?
But also, I'll note
you're that person.
The circumstance I just gave is the one where you get to take basically an extra turn next. You can be very political with this and be like, hey, I feel like maybe Mike got screwed over a little bit. We'll make it be Mike's turn next as opposed to making him wait another round. Or, well, we're about to finish somebody off and Dirk can't do it, but Mike can. So, Mike, you get another turn, finish him off. And Mike's going to be like, I don't feel like him. You're like, oh.
I also like the delaying tactic of, okay, if we let Mike untap, he's going to kill us all. So when it's the person's turn right before Mike, you exile the Eon Engine so everyone gets one more shot.
Yes.
I know, because I made the post about this on Twitter, and I got kind of people were like, well, this card was made a while ago, so obviously it's not. But the flavor text just makes me think of the Paradox Engine ban and makes me laugh. Because it's Aeon Engine, and the card is like, Paradox, we'll worry about that yesterday. I know this was made before the ban, but it makes me laugh. It's like, it just it reminds you about that ban.
Yeah, the timing is perfect.
The timing was really interesting. All right. What's next?
Sanctum of Eternity?
Oh, we haven't done the land yet?
Have we not?
I guess not.
Oh.
It's like the only new land, so I just assumed we'd done it at some point. Huh. Sanctum of Eternity. It's a land. You can tap it for a colorless mana, or you can pay 2 and tap it to return target commander you own from the battlefield to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. So
I love it.
This is your commander's safe zone. This is their fortress of zone.
I like this card because this card has the same specific text that Leadership Vacuum has. And I know that's a blue card, and we haven't talked about blue today, but it says return target commander you own. And I like that because it also works for partners you have. So if you want to save one of your partners, you can save one of your partners. And then when you have Leadership Vacuum, it says commanders your opponents control. So that also goes with partnered commanders. And I think that even though we don't see a ton of partnered commanders in play, there are some really good partner commanders. And I feel like, that that fixes it, because it's not just destroy target commander, return your commander, it's target commander, so you can kind of cherry pick around that, and I like that a lot. Let it sizzle and soak in.
Wait, it's target commander you own.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So if you have 2 commanders out,
Oh,
and
right,
they're
that's
like-
a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're partnered commanders, and you're like, oh god, like this board wipe's about to happen, and this guy is like 6 CMC, but the other partner is like 3. I'm gonna return the one that's 6 to my hand, you know, like so that way I don't have to pay like 8. It's stuff like that.
Accurate.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
I don't know. It's just a thing I do. I actually have been told multiple times this week by multiple people that I apologize too much.
Well,
Did you
should
say
apologize for that.
sorry about that?
I did, actually. I did.
Of course you did.
I did. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so we talked about Hate Mirage. We talked about Scare Tiller. I think we talked about Bloodthirsty Blade last week.
Yep.
Did we? What is Bloodthirsty Blade? Oh, yeah. Did we talk about the black card?
The black card.
There's a lot of black cards in this set.
The one though. Hang on,
What?
I'm scrolling. Damn it. The gift of
Alrighty.
no, the Myron Misery. Did we talk about Myron Misery last week?
Think so.
I like the art.
So of course.
For
you
1
did.
and a black, each opponent sacrifices a creature or enchantment at sorcery speed.
Yeah, this is that bending of the color pie that we were talking about earlier.
God, now I want pizza. You said pie, so
I was like, I did not follow that line of reasoning at all.
I always bend by pizza, you know? 'Cause how do you eat it?
I mean, if I was gonna be a bender of some sort, it would not be pizza. I'd be a burrito bender. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have to be chicken strips.
Mike?
Wait, what was the question?
That's what I was wondering.
So you know benders from the Last Airbender?
Okay.
If you were
Oh.
a food bender, I would be a burrito bender. What would you be?
But that doesn't mean you can make them just appear. It just
The
You can
hell
bend
it
them.
doesn't. You don't know how my powers work.
Excuse you, I can make chicken appear from anywhere because chicken is meat, and people are also meat.
Yeah, but
I don't
people
eat
I've been
people.
told
I
taste
don't
like
eat
pork.
people.
So you'd be transmogrifying people into chicken?
I would do that, and I would do it happily.
Yeah, just a little carbon here, a little nitrogen there. It's easy. Just
A
one.
little yummy
my
food.
This feels
think
like
if
the
you're a chicken
forbidden
bender, that just
alchemy
means
right
that you-
here. Yeah.
Wait, what
It
was
just
that?
means
Dirk?
that you can control chickens.
I mean, that's cool too.
Oh my god, you can with eggs, and we're back to eggs.
Oh my god!
Oh, no,
Damn
in
it.
my
Just come
head,
full circle.
a chicken bender. You remember Legend of Zelda? If you hit the chicken too many times,
Yes, I was
Yes.
just thinking that. Yes. And you get the giant cuckoo storm attacking
Yeah.
you. Yep.
You hold
Oh
a
my
chicken
God.
up like it's like a gun, and then it just shoots out eggs in rapid fire.
Ooh, there's a game that does that. Is that
That's the-
Stranger's Wrath? Did that have a chicken gun? I know he used live ammunition in that he fired animals, but
That was one of the kids at the finale of Hook when they're storming
there was
the
that
ship.
too, yeah.
One of them has a chicken egg gun with a chicken on top, and he's like telling the chick, he's like clucking at the chicken to make it lay more eggs.
hmm
I think I had an apostrophe.
You mean epiphany, sir?
Lightning has just struck my brain. That must have been very painful for you. Don't start on Hook, man. Hook is one of my favorite
No.
movies.
Don't get us hooked on Hook.
Boo. Okay, so let's go look at the deck. We've got Ob Nixilis Reignited as the Planeswalker. Which, yeah, alright.
he's a guy. He's
Yeah.
in there,
He
you know.
doesn't really fit, but he's good, so it's fine.
Yeah, they're like, we need a planeswalker. He fits. Go.
There's some weird Champion
Pretty
of
much.
Stray Souls, Geth, Lord of the Vault, Soul of Innistrad. Oh! It's just good stuff.
Gotta say, love Soul of Innistrad. I just think that's a really cool looking piece. Really cool looking piece.
I'm digging the Solemn Simulacrum, of course.
I am
because
loving that
solemn.
updated art. Oh gosh.
I mean, it's always just going to be a solid creature.
Yeah, and he doesn't look sad anymore. Does this happen in your playgroup? In my old playgroup, whenever we played him, they would go, "All right, sad robot."
Yeah, that was his
so sad.
nickname back in the day.
Yeah. Also, a little bit about pronunciations. I would hate it because I would have people in my playgroup go solemn simulacrum, and I'm like, get out, leave. They'd be like simulacrum. They'd be like simulacrum. I'm like, it's solemn simulacrum. You cur.
Oh, breaking out the cur. Hey, look,
I'm breaking
Squeeze
out-
in this deck.
Breaking out my SAT words.
Yeah, I saw the squee in here, and Mark Rosewater at one point had said that there were a couple other members of the Weatherlight crew that were in this. I was thinking, wow, I hope that Squee's here with a new card, because
Squeeze just got a new card.
Yeah, he did.
He did, but I want to see like something just a little different. So,
I don't know. When I look at these decks as a whole, I think that they really went heavy on flavor because we see a lot of old characters with new cards that are being highlighted in these decks, definitely. And while I think that's very good for Vorthos, and I myself am a huge fan of flavor and lore, I also feel like that they kind of, in some aspects, certainly not all, but in some aspects, sacrificed quality for flavor. I feel in some small cases, not in terms of the whole entire thing. Like Kurik, for example, he's flavorful, but he's also extremely good. But when they spoiled the Scare Tiller and Gerard at the same time, I was more excited for the Scare Tiller.
Well,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, that's such a great card. And people were like, oh, it's Gerard. And I'm like, who cares? Oh.
Have you seen the Scarecrow?
Yeah, he's awesome. But I feel like that there are certain pieces of it where they were like flavor over functionality. Not all of it, certainly, because, going over this with you guys, some very fantastic cards were highlighted to me. But I still would have liked to have seen, some different cards. Like, for instance, that Minotaur for me doesn't cut it. Gerard's ability doesn't cut it for me, stuff like that, where I'm like, they could have done something a little different, where they could still have had some flavor, but kept it very strong,
Yeah. Well,
And
I will say, I feel like that these do a decent job of catering to a lot of different audiences.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah.
Dude, Warstorm Surge is in this deck.
Hey, you know how much I love a Pandemonium.
That's a good card.
For a red deck, there's almost no instances in this, and like 3 of the 4 are only there because of Madness.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other one's Chaos Warp, which is excellent.
Yeah.
Chaos Warp.
This deck seems like a lot more focused on permanence. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's I like that. I don't know. I'm a permanence person. And when you're doing Madness, I feel like you would prefer to have permanence, as opposed to spell slinging.
I think so.
Ooh, Avison's Judgment.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ooh. From under the floorboards? Yes. Sorry.
I actually have a question for you guys. I like to pose this question to literally everybody.
To her victims.
Oh, well, I'm your victim. I'm the one who's
back in the hole.
With the devil in the
back in the hole. What card? You have to choose one card, and that card cannot be one of the legendary creatures from the set. Cannot be one of them. What card printed in Commander 19 are you most excited for that is not a legendary creature?
Good question. That is actually a really good question.
Yeah. See, I got stuff. I got stuff to offer. If you want, I can pose mine.
I could be a smartass and say the Wall of Stolen Identity.
What's yours?
Yeah, what's yours? You're so smart.
I am looking forward to the most leadership vacuum. And I like leadership I've already kind of talked about it a little bit, but I love it. You guys have already talked about it. It's 2 and a blue for an instant. Target player returns each commander they control from the battlefield to the command zone, and then you draw a card. This card I love for many different reasons. Number 1, the art has Uril in it, which, as you guys know, is a Naya hexproof 5/5 that he gets 2/2 for each enchantment attached to him. So he's pretty much he's very hard to get rid of once he's out in the battlefield. I myself have an Earl deck, and pretty much you have to either do mass board wipe, or you have to really like work hard. You have to make your opponent sacrifice. Like, it's a very difficult time with him. And this card I like because it says target player, so it targets the player and not the creature. It says returns each commander they control. So again, we have that function where if you're playing against somebody with partners, both their commanders go back, not to your hand, to the command zone. So that already makes it cost 2 more. Gets around hexproof, and there's an additional card draw, which I like a lot.
That's pretty cool.
That's my excitement. I really like that card, from the ability to the art, to the flavor text. I like that it has Cedrus in there, the Traitor King. While they scramble to fill the sudden vacancy at the top, we strike. So
I always like one of my longest running EDH decks is a Cedrus deck. So all hail the Zombie King.
My one of my exes, he had a deck. It was a kitchen table deck where he had Cedrus, the Traitor King, and then he had I don't remember his name, but he was something the Murder King, and he called the deck Traitor King Murder King.
Yeah, I see it in my head that he's got the returned mask on. Yeah.
He's Rakdos colors, I think. Really cool card, but he had a deck called Traitor King Murder King.
I think I'm ready to answer your question. I wanted to look at the stuff, and I'm only including the new cards because obviously reprints are cool. But I think after looking at everything, I'm gonna stick with we just talked about earlier with the Wildfire Devils, just because it has that potential for shenanigans. Yeah. So, and luckily, you're never gonna be like, oh darn, will they kill themselves? Unless it's like a deal damage to a creature and it's the only creature out. But most of the time, you're gonna have some interest and you're always gonna at least get the trigger from when they enter the battlefield. But then if you can protect it, I like it. I can see definitely brewing with that. So I'm gonna go with Wildfire Devils.
Good answer.
Thank you.
I'm going with Curse of Fool's Wisdom.
That's
why?
Yeah,
because it's so me.
It's a chewy card.
Yeah.
Dark?
For me, Song of the World Soul.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that sounds about right. That is a very dark card.
Yeah.
And Mike.
He's like, I hate all of them.
I feel like I might have been able to come up with a better answer if I had more time, but I would say right now, Empowered Auto Generator.
Okay.
I don't remember what that does. Hang on.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
Mike is so boring. He's like, the thing that lets me play more big things so I can kill you. I don't really.
It's the thing that lets him
I don't really care about
the thing that lets me
things.
play more commander cards.
Yeah.
I mean, his most infamous deck for a long time was the 5-color deck because it does all the neat things. So this lets him do more neat things. So, yeah.
You love to see it.
Right then.
Well,
let that sizzle.
Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation, but shall we put this to bed before some of us have to go to bed? I am literally shocked that Dirk is still awake.
Me too.
He just woke up.
And so, I actually was planning after we're done tonight to work on commander decks and brawl decks for this weekend because I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to do it tomorrow. So
same.
I can't pass out entirely. So. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Mr. Chewy? Or are we gonna...
No, we need to final thoughts and kill this episode because it's 2.5 hours already.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, this has been fun. I'm going to say my final thought is, Chase, thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. And I appreciate the repertoire. I guess because I always try to throw something personal in there about what's going on with me. Work has had a lot of highs and lows. And this week has been frustrating because it's a probation violation week. And unfortunately, people, if they're coming up on probation violations, they're already kind of like on their second strike because they got in trouble. They're put on probation. Now they're in trouble again. So it can be frustrating. But today actually went really well. I was able to get some good outcomes for some people that I really do think deserve good outcomes. So it was a very fulfilling day at work. I'm looking forward to seeing some dorks over the weekend and playing some Magic. And that's all I got. So I'm going to sign off.
No, you're not. When are we coming to your house?
Don't show up before 9 o'clock.
No problem.
Okay. Let me know if you're going to be much after like 10 because... and then I've gotten everybody's food order, so we're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what we're going to do for lunch. Probably just, fast food or something. And then we'll be... I'm getting the stuff together for dinner. So any other questions? You have my email, so you can... But anything else while I'm here?
No. Are you... Wait, if you're not going to bed, are you still hanging up?
No, I guess I don't have to hang up. Because I guess I just had that thought. So I just can't move around the room as easily with my headphones. But I think I've got my decks right
we
here.
don't care. Dirk, final thoughts.
Today was the first official day of teacher work days, so my summer officially ended today. So yay!
I'm so sorry.
And how do you feel about the new school?
I think I'm going to be really happy.
Good.
I can already tell I'm happier than I was the last 2 years, but it's a much longer drive, but at the same time, if I feel like I will have more people to work with and collaborate with, and I think all in all I'll be much happier. And from what I've been told by lots of people in the community who are teachers or have anything to do about where I'll be working, they say it's a great school and that I probably will never want to leave. So
Good.
I'm hoping. And with that, I am also going to head on. I am going to head on because I got to go to work tomorrow early.
He's actually leaving.
Night, Zerg.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
And thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Boo-doop.
All right, so now I can fix up this screen. All right, Mike.
All right. Yeah, between like work and travel and social stuff and whatever, like the only opportunity I had to mess around with decks ahead of our get together was like last Sunday evening. So I changed the deck around. I was hoping that I would get a chance to buy a set of these commander decks beforehand, so we'd be able to play those when we got together, but I also got something going on tomorrow evening, so I'm not going to be able to get any myself. So whatever, we'll see if someone else has in mind to pick them up, or if we even want to do that. Huh?
I am broke.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I thought about it, but I also feel like we're gonna have some. As Chewy was telling me the other day, he's like, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to do because we're gonna have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. Oh, dudes, I got I finally got my copy of the Trogdor board game in the mail.
Oh, nice.
I'll bring that with me and see if we want to do anything with it. But yeah, I don't really have anything else here.
All right.
Okay.
Then. So, hey Chase,
Yeah.
plug anything you want to plug.
I have so many things to plug now. I used to have nothing. So, as you guys know, or if you don't know, I am Mana Curves on Twitter. That's my handle everywhere. I just started recently streaming. I'm also Mana Curves on Twitch. I do not have a set stream schedule because I'll be going back to school on the 20th of August, so my schedule is going to be a little bit wonky until the week after that starts. But after that, I will have a set stream schedule. I am also 1/3 of a podcast called Best of Three, and we are now available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud as well, as a Best of Three podcast, and that's the number 3. And I also just released a Patreon under Mana Curves as well, and on that Patreon I have 3 tiers. And I am posting more Magic mental health articles as well as popper deck guides and comprehensive EDH guides that go really in depth behind the cards of my favorite EDH decks. And if you want to check that out, the first deck guide on there is my Morophon deck, and it is free for everybody to read. So you should check that out. Oh, I also just made affiliate on Twitch, which is exciting for me. I literally just found out today, like 3 hours ago. So I'm like really excited. So yeah, check that out soon. I'm still figuring out how to do everything on there in terms of affiliate stuff. But, you know, hit me up there.
Yeah.
That's it. I had a lot to say. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool.
So much stuff.
You think you had a lot to say. All right. So
okay, we're done. See you later.
You can follow me on Twitter at the Manapool. Much like Chase and her branding, we are the Manapool everywhere. So let's see. Twitter at the Manapool, Facebook.com/the Manapool. We've got hang on, there are more. There's an Instagram that I don't use.
I don't use Instagram either. I tried to. That's hard.
It just kind of sucks. There's let's see here. You can go to youtube.com/the Manapool to check out the daily, yes, daily YouTube content. Let's see what's going up right now. Finishing up the Messenger's Picnic Panic DLC. Like I think the next to last video went up yesterday, which means that the last one will go up tomorrow. So by the time you're hearing this as a podcast, they're all out. Yay. There's what else? Hearthstone games are going up there as well. At the very beginning of the new meta with the new set, I played a few games with a lot, like 9 different decks, and a bunch of those have been going up on YouTube as a deck showcase sort of thing. Like the last one was Big Shaman, and then the next one is, I just did it today, Secret Hunter. Yeah. And then there'll be more of that coming out as I do, because I'm still pushing for Legend. I made it to rank 5 and then hit a brick wall and haven't had time to play much since then, but that happens. I have plenty of time to make it up to Legend, finally, after all these years, literal years. Let's see, what else is going up on YouTube? I guess that's it for the moment. Coming soon, I get to start, finally, get to start putting up the playthrough of Human Fall Flat that I played with Steph. The game is adorable. Steph is adorable. Everything is adorable. So that'll be great. And then I also did a full playthrough of Titan Souls on stream that will be going up on YouTube also soonish. So, awesome. Titan Souls is like a pixel graphics top-down Shadow of the Colossus, essentially. You're just walking around fighting giant bosses and killing them. And it's excellent. And is that pretty much... Oh, wait, and of course, we stream both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool right here on twitch.tv/the Manapool. It's also where I stream all the other things like, let's see, Hearthstone this month, Dota Underlords. I gotta do an Underlords stream. I'm twitching. I haven't played Underlords in so long. And of course, all the other stuff that has yet to be determined. So whatever the next games I play, we stream them on Twitch. It's what we do here, folks. It's what we do here.
Are we good at it?
No, bad at this game.
That's what I was afraid of.
But
I'm good at it though.
Sure she is. If you want to help support what I do, the Manapool and Manapool Productions on the whole is funded by the fans. So, if you want me to be able to continue making the daily YouTube updates and 2 podcasts a week and all of the, let's see, normally 5 streams. I didn't stream yesterday because I had a 13-hour drive I had to do. So, you know, that was slightly ate up my entire day and night. But, yeah, if you want me to keep being able to do that, then we need your support. There are a variety of ways to do it. You can subscribe. You can subscribe on Twitch. You can buy things using our Humble Store link, which is down in the description no matter where you're seeing or listening to this. The most direct way is on Patreon at patreon.com/themanapool, where you can become a lifeguard and get a variety of perks. I'm working on retooling the perks to, honestly, to try to drum up more business because, the rent keeps going up. So, but right now you can get episodes of the Manapool and all the YouTube videos early. You can get the odds and ends, which is all the stuff behind the scenes nonsense recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool that's uncensored and unfiltered and is generally just us being nonsensical. And you can get the sponsorship shout out on both podcasts and on all the end screens for all the YouTube videos that go up each month. And while I was doing this, I usually pull up Patreon so I can rattle off the patrons, but I got so into rattling it off that I forgot to pull it up. So this was me stalling while I pulled it up. So I'd like to thank our mythic lifeguards: Jason Doan, Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Lance Delicious, Team Hellas Haryu, Connor Kennedy, John Morris, Alex Gonzalez, Jeff Spencer, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Sophia Bertain, Casey, Faye Says, Danny Liao, Cody Buckowing, Jake Jansons, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum, John Parker, Violet Moon, Aleph Cat. I couldn't make it in one breath. Where did I stop? Aleph Cat, Dan Holm, Bartle, Mike Millerburn. No, I'm sorry. No. Sarah Jane, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Whew.
Good job.
That's a lot.
And with that, we're going to be done. So, as everyone else said, thank you so much, Chase, for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been entirely too much fun.
That's what they all say.
And baby. On that note, we're going to go. So, this has been the Manapool number 563. We are getting together this weekend to play Magic. I still have not quite decided if I'm gonna bother to take all the recording equipment or not, because as much as I love you guys and I know that a bunch of you enjoy the live games, it's a pain in the ass to take everything apart and then set up, and then they're gonna be at least two kids there because Dirk is bringing Trevor, right?
That's what he said. Yes.
Yeah, and it's and then I focus so much on making sure that we're reading cards and explaining what's going on that I forget to actually have as much fun as I should on the rare occasion that we get together to play Magic. What was
you didn't bring the recording stuff. Well, no, you didn't get to come at all.
I didn't come last time because of strep throat, and I can't.
So for those that wonder how often we get together, we see each other occasionally, but other than pre-releases, I looked at my calendar. The last time we actually got together was March.
Yup.
And Chewy didn't come.
Yeah, because Sam had strep throat, and it turns out she did still have it. Ha-ha! And I would have gotten it, and no. In fact, hell no.
So my point is that not only has it been a long time, but even that time, Chewy was not with us. So.
Yeah. And you guys didn't have to worry about recording, and you had more fun, see? So, shut up, it fits the narrative. Shut up. So, so I don't know. We'll figure that out in the meantime. So, but yeah, this has been another episode of the Manapool. Thank you all so very much for joining us, and go play some Magic.
Do it.